I call shenanigans.
Alright, I mean, that's
I
fair.
mean,
It's probably kind of cold.
we're all full life. I think it was.
That's true. No one's dead yet.
Give me a second.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah.
Gorn when he keels over.
don't even need combat. Just that old.
Just old. Dies
I
of
mean,
old.
to be fair, with my ocean bomb, the simple fact is, whenever we're not in combat, I'm basically always healing you all up to full.
It takes some time though. Sometimes we don't have the
Well,
time.
yeah, basically you all recover 1d hate every 10 minutes.
For free!
You know
Yep.
how Matt had like Chetney roll a D100 to see if he wakes up,
Yeah.
and at some point while he was playing Grog in campaign 3, he was playing Grog and he rolled it just for fun and it would have killed Chetney, but he was Grog, so it was fine.
Classic.
I mean, he rolls it, and like somewhere elsewhere, Chetney doesn't wake up.
Chetney had a scare, a heart attack.
It's the big one, Edith.
It's the big one.
By the way, that reminds me, Lolo, Slappy, did you guys end up? I missed the end of Level Heads last night. Did you guys end up getting out of that sludge?
Yes, sort of. We still have to clean it.
We killed it. We killed the sludge.
They killed Mirage, and it was extremely cathartic. And oh my god, not a moment fucking too soon, because Mirage had just cast Earthquake, and was about to level the school.
Yeah, Slappy was about to improv himself into a corner, so thankfully we got some dice saviors.
So I planned on him having that in his pocket for like, okay, he's not going to just roll up and destroy the town on a whim. He wants to just get Brandy and go. You know, just he doesn't care about anything else. He's not advancing his studies by destroying Silvery Moon. So he just wanted his treasure back. But if he's going to go out, then like he was on his last legs, and he's like, fine, I'll burn this place down and sort through the ashes for my treasure. Except it was rubble because it was earthquake. But he cast it, and everyone went prone. But before it went to the next turn, where fissures start opening up, that's when he was defeated. And I was like, oh my god! And it was like a counterspell war too. He cast an 8th level spell, and a 4th level counterspell came out, and rolled high enough. And I was like, that's excellent. That's awesome. You just saved the school. Except he counterspells your counterspell. So I was like, I want to let that cool moment of victory go, but like, he would counterspell that counterspell. And so he did. But then he was killed. And I was like, thank fuck. Now I can actually give our monk the send-off because it was her last session with us. Yeah, the improv almost fucked the whole thing up, but best laid plans, I guess.
Yeah, the last thing I remembered was the suffocating of what was his name?
Akil.
Akil, yes.
Yeah, there was this really ruthless ability that our mud genie, basically, ascended Ganassi, a mud genie, it had, where he would if he would hit you with a tendril, he would grapple you with his mud, and then on another turn or 2 legendary actions, he would force the mud down your throat to suffocate you. And if you fail a Constitution check by 5 or more, you immediately aspirate the mud, and you don't die. You go to 0 hit points, and you're unconscious right away. Like
It's good. It's good that It's good that it didn't work on me because we would have had to figure out what the fuck.
Yeah, like I wasn't sure what to do if I was gonna go for you, but mercifully you can't be hit anyway.
Yeah. Okay, let's play this one.
Yes.
Yeah, let's play this.
I think I'm ready. I've been streaming, so great. Oh, I'm hearing the rain from the place. Okay, from the map.
Yeah, it's the map.
It wasn't in my headphones yet, so I thought it was like noise on my music. Okay. 6 cam. Bean time.
Didn't we have one else? Yeah, no, never mind.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Bean. Godspeed, noble Bean. Thank you for your sacrifice, that we may be bestowed with this bountiful harvest of dungeons. It's Pathfinder, guys. It's Pathfinder this time. We're playing Rusthenge on Pathfinder 2e. Isn't that some shit? I've been interested, but also, like, stop talking to me about Pathfinder, Lolo, for so long.
Lol.
But now here we are, and I'm getting my cherry pumped in it. I am Slappy Meats. This is my channel. You can tell because it's got my name all over it. You just use your eyes. It's not that hard. Come on. God. But I am also playing Cillian Monsoon, the Undyne Oracle. I don't have much to say about him yet, but we'll figure it out. We've got, as well, my friends. There's Lolo over there.
Yeah, you're playing Yaf. You're playing Yaf, yet another fanboy.
He's technically an NB, but okay. Yes, he is. Yes, they are.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lolo, and I'm playing Guano, the old elf with a lot of experience that have forgotten most about it. Next.
Oh, line up, children. Going clockwise. We've got Sanika as well.
Hello. I'm sorry, what? But yeah, anyway, I'm playing Naya, the merfolk lady who's perpetually happy, always trying to help and bring the ocean down on the head of anyone who's being problematic, and also has a little bit going under the waters, but that's for later. Hey everyone.
Still waters, something. We've got Moonlight Kitsune.
Health greetings all. I'm playing Cinder, the dragon-blooded champion who is really upset at the world at the moment.
Oh, I missed the end of that session because my internet shot a whole fart, so I'll have to see what you're talking about. We've got, as always, our precious Buanya boy, Buanya B.
Hello all. I will be playing Belthrune Ironguard, the appointed shipwreck house of a dwarven monk who's ready to control the situation by force if necessary.
He's so buff and strong and probably smells real manly. Yes, and of course, hurting us all together. HERD, not... Well, we'll see. We have our wonderful, magnanimous, beneficent, magnificent handsome and good-smelling DM who would do surely nothing but kindness to his players. Ironmog.
Hail, travelers. Welcome back once more. We're continuing on with our adventures in Rusthenge, using the Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule set. At the end of last session, we'll give a little bit of a quick recap, because unfortunately we did lose Slappy right there at the end. Now, right there at the end of last session, they got into a little bit of a fight with a bunch of these giant centipede creatures and someone or something else that seemed to be running point on them. Now, Guano, being the ancient badass they are, leapt into action and cut this creature down just magnificently. The wounds and other, it seems, exposure and wear and tear this creature had taken was more than enough to permanently end its life, and there was no hope of bringing it back, unfortunately. But it did seem, after some examination, that our heroes were convinced that this was either a Darrow or a Drathnalar. Drathnalar being the Pathfinder name for the Deep Gnomes. So it's certainly one of those two things. And that's about all that we're able to figure out, other than, of course, the fact that it's dead. And it does seem that its crossbow, its possession of more giant centipede venom, its proximity to giant centipedes that it seemed to be able to command, this is more than likely the assailant who shot those bolts into the individual that perished back in Osprey Cove that set off this entire adventure. So that was where we'd left off. Now, we were about to head to Iron Harbor, but as we had unfortunately unceremoniously lost Slappy, we did want to, before we moved on, give you the opportunity, if you are interested, you can do any sort of examination, poking around, reaction, RP, etc. here, with the news of this being a Darrow, which is another creature of the Darklands, which is the Galarian equivalent of the Underdark, or a Drathnalar, which is just also from the Darklands. It's one of those two things. If you have anything else you want to do, we didn't want to rob you of that agency before we moved on, so by all means.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pick it up.
I sort of, Celine's sort of quietly muttering to themselves about, like, could have found out more if we could have just asked them. Make things difficult. We're just going to murder everything we see. I'm going to, the body was already searched, I imagine.
Yes. Yeah, its inventory has been cleared out. There was a crossbow that somebody took. Of course, I think they also took the bolts. There was some giant centipede venom, and there was a Atlas, a very unique weapon that was on the creature as well.
Yeah. I know I took the poison specifically to keep it away from Guano.
And that seems like a fair point. That's that.
And I took the
probably responsible.
I took the
They
crossbow.
never let me try the energy drinks.
And I thought so. I didn't want to just say it was, but I thought it was. It was Belthrin that took the crossbow and the bolts.
Yeah. And I also took the Atlas.
What is that?
If you want to put the Atlas in chat, by all means.
Oh, it's there already. Never mind. Throwing club with a hook on one end and the cord. Okay.
Oh yeah, it is up there. Duh, you could have just scrolled up. Forget
And
I
it
don't
doesn't want me
like
to put it in chat anyways.
Cool. That's something like I was going to give my my swashbuckler when I was trying to make him ranged swashbuckler. I can't help it now. It's buckler. Swashbuckler. It's been a campaign for like a year and change. Like I can't help it. But I was going to give him a combat grapple. basically, so you could throw and manipulate. But Celian's going to sort of assess the scene, this ambush point, and look and just think, well, can't be responsible for all of that, but I want to cast Detect Metal and comb the area, comb the beach for maybe signs of prior attacks, bolts that had missed, any dropped weapons from anybody who may have been slain in this area, something like that. See, what do I want to do?
Let's see. That's 30 feet. Okay.
Does it last for how long does it last? I guess I could just cast it multiple times, but I'll just cast it around me and just pace the beach while everyone started to move on. I'm looking up into the waves, looking up at the mountains, and just sensing for metals. Oh, I can't place it. Oh, I don't have permissions. Oh, there it is.
Okay. You do notice that in a nearby, like what looks like a post that would have been maybe part of like a fence along the side of the road, there is, in fact, another crossbow bolt embedded in the wood.
I'll go pop it out. Does it seem to have remnants of the poison on it as well? Should wipe off in the wood, I guess.
It does, in fact, seem to be coated, at least a little bit still, with giant centipede venom as you pull it out of the wood and examine it.
So it looks like this has been a post for... It looked like it's been there for a while? Like the poison's all like crusty and dried, I trust. Or is this recent?
It looks like it's at least within the last day or so. If it had been longer than that, there would likely not be any remains, especially after the storm. So it looks like this either happened last night during the storm or very early this morning after the storm had ended. Either way, it is obvious, as these are about the same size as the wound in the individual that you examined back in Osprey Cove, and these are the same size as the crossbow bolts that you have seen shot by the individual that is now dead, and that Belthroon took off their body.
And we said that the bridge looked scavenged. It hadn't been broken by the storm, but it was cannibalized.
It had absolutely been purposefully disassembled, yes.
And there was no way to tell how long ago that had happened, I trust.
It did look like it had been quite some time.
Okay.
In some cases.
I guess like the rotting of the rope or whatever. Sure, yeah. But this is new. This looks new.
It does. Absolutely. There's no doubt in your mind. Just the fact that you can detect that there is some of the giant centipede venom on it still means it has to be within the last day.
And of course, there was nothing up on that little ledge to suggest a little camp. Like, this person's not been there for a long time. They probably... Okay. Yeah.
Did not seem to be.
Not seeing any signs of them making a career out of this.
No, did not seem that this has been like their home and they've been ambushing for some time.
Okay.
It definitely looked like it was a improvised ambush spot.
I'll catch up with everybody, just looking at the bolt and thinking, letting the gears turn about that topic. Not being especially vocal about it. following along.
All right. This is the Greater Iron Harbor area. It took you about half the day to get to Kindred Crossing, where we just were. The rest of the day, approaching evening, gets you finally coming down along the old coast road here, turning the point, and getting your first real glimpse of Iron Harbor itself. Here in the center is the island, where you can see, from this vantage point at least, the evidence of the ruins, these rusted, twisted metal statues that gives the adventure and this particular landmark its name. You can see Rusthenge as you approach.
Don't like that there's 7 of them.
I'm guessing the Rune Lords from that comment.
Yeah, are you a little nervous there?
Yes.
That's fair. However, the rest of the area looks fairly as you might expect. A nice little harbor fishing village might look. This, where Osprey Cove has this nice kind of natural sprawl to it. Iron Harbor, as you can see, is much more very carefully aligned, very rigid lines drawn throughout these small stone buildings with wooden roofs. This one shows the stark differences between Osprey Cove's followers of Caden and Iron Harbor's followers of Gorham. Gorham being much more militaristic. There's much more order here. Whereas it's just, chaos, open, wild, do your own thing back in Osprey Cove. So just an immediate difference between the two areas, just visually in their aesthetic. There are a couple of buildings that are very obvious at first that you notice, of course, the massive building of the dry dock in town. And as you turn the corner and come around towards the village itself, you can see, even at a distance, with those large bay doors open to the dry dock, that dry dock is empty. There's no ship currently at work, nothing being built, nothing being repaired. It seems to be stark, void of any activity at the dry dock. You also see a nice building in town that definitely stands out a little bit. It's a little bit different from all the others. It's this very nice, large building with this very large red roof. And currently docked at the harbor here, something that immediately will draw your attention and is obvious, even also at a distance, is that there is a ship that none of you expect to see. There's a ship flying a new Thessalonian flag that is currently in the harbor. Elder Ordwe reacts to this very, very starkly, like very much surprised. This is the elders of Osprey Cove had no idea, had not even suspected that Iron Harbor had any more connection or contact or any interest even with New Thassalon or anything going on with New Thassalon. So this is definitely a surprise to them.
Calm yourself, child. This means not for now. Let's not make too many waves in this small harbor at present time. Like one used to say, wisdom is scared of crowds.
The flag on the ship that you can see is very specifically the flag of Zin Eurythnia. that is the capital city of Rune Lord Belimarius's domain, which
Okay.
technically the Kindred Coast falls under.
So we've seen ships like this come to Osprey Cove annually, briefly, to collect on our taxes. And then
Absolutely,
fuck
you've
off.
seen this flag, these colors from the tax collector, 100%.
And is this around tax day? Like, do we think that could this be what that is? Have
It
we
is
seen?
absolutely not anywhere near tax pay. Absolutely, each one of you seeing this is given immediate pause. You may not react as starkly as Elder Ordwy does, but each one of you definitely has that pause of, huh, New Thassalon, huh?
Elder Audrey? Are we striking a meeting with the Thessalonians?
Do we happen to notice anybody kind of moving around at an unusual pace, or like a groups, an unusual amount of people moving about, or anything like that?
Not at a distance. From far out, it's hard to spot any more specific activity. But as you do get closer, you do see what seems to be normal activity. People milling about throughout the village, going about their duties or whatever work they might be into. It is mostly a village of fishermen, of course, and then people that work at the dry docks, and then there's supporting workshops and such.
Should I go for a little swim and listen?
I doubt that would be a bright idea.
Elder Ordwy shakes her head a little bit. Stay close. We don't want to surprise them. We're coming as guests, and so you make your way along the road, passing some buildings and some construction before you get to the village proper itself. Before it really starts to become a village, the whole area may be Iron Harbor, but the actual village is just in this area. And so as you're approaching the village here, it's this overcast day. It's been fairly cold, fairly windy, of course, all day. And it's now getting on towards evening. It's probably getting to be about 5. You can see the shadows are certainly growing long. The sun is getting low on the horizon.
Real quick, could I get clarification on something?
Absolutely. What's up?
What is our mission specifically? Are we coming to warn them of this odd going on of this corpse that with rust disease, or are we coming to interrogate? I mean, we're in a good faith mission to sort of be like, hey guys, we're willing to work with you on this, but do we presume that they don't know anything about it?
So the mission for all of you is to escort Elder Ordwy, whose mission is to come and offer aid if there is something going on here, like, whatever this disease this individual had. If there is a plague here, we're here to offer help, and to also extend an olive branch. So to come here and be like, hey, if there's something going on here, we'd love to help. But other than that, if you guys are cool with it, maybe we could call you sometime.
Okay. And so our mission in particular is not to do the diplomacy. That's Elder Ordwy's job. We're the muscle.
You're just here to make sure she gets here safe and doesn't get murdered along the way by an ambush, per se.
Yeah. So I guess Celian's like, well, it's just muscle. Then why the fuck did you bring me? I could have been in the library ignoring everyone.
Ordwy. Ordwy, my child. May I have a word?
Yes, Guano.
I do not remember much, but this vessel seems to give you more pause than appears necessary. Are you worried?
Quite honestly, yes, I am. The ever-present threat of New Thassalon moving in and muscling in on our way of life has always been there. And if it seems that the people of Iron Harbor are making plans to get closer with them. It could be that for those of us in Osprey Cove, we might think about moving on and finding somewhere else to settle down where we can live and do as we wish.
Then you are in charge. You will decide what is appropriate. And Guano's gonna pat her head. And he's a little bit patronizing, but in a nice way. But if things look more dire than anticipated, just let this old one know. And I will cover your ass when we run.
Looking at the ship, does it looks like it's equipped for an envoy? Like this is not a military vessel that's been sent. This is a small little schooner or something that's equipped to make the trip, of course, from
Yeah, you don't
mainland,
think it's
but-
any sort of like military like destroyer or anything, yeah.
So yeah, whoever's coming here is coming here to talk.
Yeah. Certainly not anything you would start an invasion with, yeah.
Just because it doesn't mean it does. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry. Tripped over my own tongue.
The
But no,
talk is
you're
meant to be
right.
nice, but yeah, they're not bringing force. They're not coming to intimidate en masse. They're
Why we must be careful is because the roots of the old oak kill the grass before it can grow strong.
you.
Elder Ordwe nods.
Like there's a look of like, huh, yeah, on Cillian's face. Like, just like this babbling old nincompoop is right.
Actually said something smart,
Wise.
wise.
That's twice now. Like two idioms that are like, yeah, shit, you're right. Okay, all right.
As you approach near the intersection, Cinder, you notice someone approaching from off the side of the road a little bit, striding towards the middle.
Incoming.
Grumpy.
Looks so angry.
Right? Like, it's just like, I'm gonna fuck you up. So this well-muscled looking individual steps out in the road, wearing this armor, carrying this great sword. I hold up a hand, indicating, hoping, it seems, that you would stop. And as Elder Ordwe seems to indicate, she does come to a slow and stops eventually.
Yeah, Cinder's going
Wait.
to park herself between Audrey and this new individual.
Waits for a
Buckthorn
moment
does the
quietly
same.
as everybody gathers up. The individual sees you all stopping, lowers her hand. Hail there, travelers. Welcome to Iron Harbor. What brings you here? My name is Sister Vanda. What is your purpose in coming to Iron Harbor, especially at this late hour? After a moment, Elder Ordwe looks around at all of you before stepping forward, making sure to not go past Cinder, but to at least come up to Cinder's shoulder to indicate that they're the one who will be speaking, but knowing Cinder's got their back if need be.
Hence why she
Greetings
was
to you, Sister Vanda. I am Elder Ordwe, downway of Osprey Cove. My companions here have made sure to bring me safely to Iron Harbor as I come bearing both news and a warm hand of friendship. First, the news is we've had an unknown man show up there recently and died, and it seems that it was a man who more than likely has possibly come from this way, being that they bore as you do. And she gestures towards Sister Vanda's armor that has the symbols of Gorham upon it, that bore the same symbols of Gorham as you. And at this, Sister Vanda looks surprised for just a moment before frowning and nodding. Yes, striding a few paces further forward. She lowers her greatsword, seems to consider you no longer a threat of any sort, and is a little bit more relaxed, but still seems like cautious, on edge, kind of just wary in general. That would have been Brother Blanton. He'd grown quite ill, and we were trying our best to care for him, but a few nights ago, he became violent, and he fled. We've been looking for him, but had no idea he'd made it all the way out to Osprey Cove. Elder Ordwy, is it? Good then. If you're here from Osprey Cove and have extended a hand of friendship, I'll need you to come with me to Stoneholm. Lord Ragnolf would wish to speak to you, being, again, that you're one of the leaders of Osprey Cove, correct? She waits for Elder Ordwy to nod confirmation. He'd be wanting, I believe, to speak to you about Brother Blanton and whatever else it is that has brought you all the way up the Kindred Coast, and the future of our Kindred Coast indeed. There's much to discuss, and I'm afraid we can accommodate you alone at Stoneholm for the night. The rest of you must wait and find your accommodations here in town.
Do you have caves?
I'm sure there are many caves around the island, yes.
I'd step a little closer and kind of looking down and grab the edge of Elder Ordry's cloak or shirt or mantle or what have you, and just is that okay?
Elder Ordwy, for a moment, just nods in understanding, then holds up a hand. If you will excuse me, Sister Vanda, I'm going to speak to my companions for a moment away. But yes, give us a moment, and then I will be coming back with you.
Can I sense motive when the separation is mentioned by this Vanda person?
Absolutely. If you want to target Vanda and roll your sense motive, go ahead.
Ooh, can I do that?
Absolutely.
Thing to do.
Sense motive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that as well.
It should be on the basic action macros.
Oh, apparently I'm the
Cinder's
best in the
just-
party for that.
Yeah, Cinder's just
Oh,
suspicious of this whole
me
mess.
too.
It's just like something doesn't seem right here.
Probably using a different stat. We probably have a tie, but you would use what?
Yeah, we're probably tied for it.
There's insight. Is it only an insight thing, or is there another? Oh yeah, that's right. If you're a good liar, you can use deception to do it.
Yeah, deception would do it.
The way Sister Vanda reacted to the news of this Brother Blanton did seem weird. She seemed more surprised, perhaps, than concerned. But as far as this, wanting to take Elder Ordwy to Stoneholm, you don't get an overtly, threatening sense from it. There's definitely a sense of probably control, wanting to control the situation, kind of wanting to be the one who's in control, making sure this outside influence is properly handled, but not an overt, I'm going to murder this one and then come after the rest of you kind of thing.
I also have a question that may seem unimportant, but it gives me a picture of Iron Harbor. Sister Vanda, is that portrait accurate? Does this person look particularly masculine?
Yes.
So I was wondering if this is somebody who is trans-masc but doesn't use pronouns, is trans-feminine in social role, or is non-binary, or whatever, like myself, and how that, Ceiling's always thought of Iron Harbor as being particularly unfriendly, being having a military reputation. So, do I get a read on their identity presentation?
will let you know.
Okay.
What a nice man.
My God.
You and I have different definitions of nice. This screams setup.
I am a little worried. Why would they want to take you from your escort?
Should we be worried, Elder?
It does seem that Vanda identifies, and I don't know if you'd get this, but I'll let you know. She, they.
Okay. I got the sister was the giveaway, and I was like, oh, interesting. Thinking back at to our other Undyne elder, who I very much look up to.
Oh, what? No. 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 No, no, no. What am I thinking? If I leave Elder Ordway's side, then Juridia's going to be pouty. And when she's pouty, she does not finish her dinners. This is not happening. I'm going with her.
Cinder's gonna walk up and grab Guano by the back of the shirt and drag him back. Ignore him.
They will do no such thing.
So, as Elder Ordwe holds up a hand and lets Vanda know she wants to talk to all of you first, Vanda gives a little bit of that impatient huff of like, I want to be on with this already. Let me, do my job so I can go back to, not doing my job and sitting around kind of thing. But nods in understanding, steps away a few steps to give you all a little bit more privacy. But Elder Ordwe also takes a couple steps away to make sure that there's a little bit more distance as well. Turning her back on Sister Vanda, she calls you all closer, lowers her voice a little bit, even though there is the distance now. Listen, something's definitely going on here. Did you notice how she seemed surprised to find out about our visitor? And that Thessalonian ship in the harbor, that has to mean something as well. Right? Doesn't it?
Like I
She
said.
holds up a hand.
What was that?
Hold on. She holds up a hand to stop you as you start to speak. Hold on. Parting ways here for the evening. It's perfect cover, golden opportunity for you lot to learn more. I'll go away, accompany the Sister Vanda, meet up with Lord Ragnolf at Stonehome. What can they do to me? All of you should take the opportunity, look around the village. Peep around a bit, keep an eye out, ask questions. Find somewhere to stay for the night. I expect we'll be here overnight at least. If you can, figure out what that Thessalonian ship is here for. But, and please, this is the important part. Above all, be discreet. Don't let them know you're snooping, but, snoop. And then she goes ahead, gestures at Cinder, who had been about to speak. Go ahead. You had something?
I was just going to say, this seems, while they weren't expecting us, this seems too much like a setup. They want you away from us. Possibly, I know that you say that what can they do, but from experience, a lot.
I kinda agree that maybe you should take one with you. His old age might make him less wary of him,
I
and
think
he might be able to react if they try anything.
you're
Wouldn't
very
it
brave.
also be a better idea to have someone with a little more presence?
No, that's the whole point. We want them to thinks he is defenseless and that whoever is accompanying her is not there to defend her.
She waves her hand in the air for a moment. See, this is exactly it. This is why you're all going to stay here. Because who one of you would I take? But together, all of you should be able to get just about anything done. If something happens to me, come get me. Remember, you're going to make sure that I get back to Osprey Cove. Fine. So we'll play along. We'll be nice. We're visiting diplomats. You're my bodyguards, and you have to unfortunately find a way to put yourself up for the night. But I'm going to visit a diplomat of a nearby town. I'm going to be escorted there by one of their guard, clerical, divine, priestess, whatevers. We'll play along. It'll be fine.
I think Elder
If
is
the
right.
worst, if the worst happens, well, you can tell me so in hell. And she smiles at that.
You know I'll make sure you don't get there. If anything happens to you, I'm bringing you back to life just so I can chew you out.
But I do know I can trust you all to figure out what's going on around town. Be safe. Be discreet. Take care of
You
Guano.
be safe. And
be sure,
don't forget to brush your teeth.
and be sure to come running to us if anything happens. We are there
Right
just
away.
for that.
And Guano, I promise you I will brush my teeth.
Good.
Have a good stay then.
Of course. I'm sure it'll be lovely. Good luck. And she'll, with a flash of a smile towards everybody, she'll turn around and eventually join Sister Vanda. And the two of them will head back off down the road towards Stonehome. So that leaves our party around here. It is late in the evening. Not yet quite night, so you've got some time left. You've now been separated from your current duty. Consider yourselves mission accomplished at this point. You got Elder Ordwy to Iron Harbor. But now Elder Ordwy has entrusted all of you with figuring out what's going on. How would the party like to proceed from here?
I do believe that it's time for me to take that little walk and listen. Well, walk into the ocean, really.
Walk into the ocean.
I don't believe they'll be wary for whatever is under the waves, so I might be able to get a good listen in around the harbor, see if anything is spoken when they think no one is around.
Absolutely. So at this point, it is up to you, the party, to decide where you want to go, how you want to do this, where you want to investigate, what you want to do while you're doing it. You can, of course, gather information checks as you're moving about the village, as there are people out and about. You can stop and chat individuals up. You can talk to someone, see if you can get some information, or just eavesdrop, listen to what people are gabbing about. There are, of course, a few points of interest around town. There is, of course, the dry dock you've already seen. There's the large red-roofed building you've seen. There is the ship currently in harbor of due note, being the Thessalonian ship. So it is up to each of you. How would you like to proceed? How do you want to start investigating, start snooping,
Well,
see if we can figure out what's going on?
first things first is going to be trying to avoid notice and then starting to gather information. I mean, I'm sure, a 7-foot-tall dragon woman's not going to be conspicuous, but just okay, need to make sure they're not.
You might stick out a little bit. Fair.
Yeah, but trying to make it so it's oh hey, just because I'm standing here does not mean I'm listening to you. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, like I said, Naya will be trying to sneak into the water when no one is looking, so no one
Oh,
sees
jeez, I'm
her
hero
go in
pointing
the
that one.
water.
Go ahead.
And then when she's underwater, she'll keep close enough to the bottom, but
There we go.
just under the docks to listen to anyone talking and saying things.
But yeah, you right click on it.
Oh,
There you go.
there
Look
we
at
go.
that, from a nat 1 to a nat 20.
I'll take that. Backstory wise,
It's
also.
always this party. It just tends to happen here.
Just swings back and forth there. You
Yes.
feel like you're pretty good right now as far as sticking away from being noticed. Nobody seems to be paying any extra attention to you.
Other than, again, being it's like a 7-foot tall dragon. But it looks like I'm actually just perusing wares or something like that while I listen. Which followed up with the gather information. Please not that one.
All right, children.
Right, it's hidden.
The air carries a lot of words, and we do not have nets wide enough to catch all of them. Let's reconvene at a decent place with food. I will take a stroll.
Belthrun will be kind of looking for a tavern of sorts, if there is one close by, to be able to kind of get kind of used to it. He's kind of used to blending in at that being his profession, so to speak, being a bouncer of like a former bouncer of taverns and such, and he's used to being around crowds and such. Is there one in this town?
Go ahead and make me a gather information, Belthrin. And Naya, you're swimming around. Are you're just trying to listen to see what people are talking about?
Yep, just swimming around under
Go
the
ahead and make a gather
surface.
information as well, for sure. Give yourself a +1 circumstance bonus for being down on the water. It's kind of neat. It's lets you get in a little bit closer to anybody who might be on like the actual docks or in the harbor. They may not be noticing you, so go ahead and get your +1.
Okay. And what I want to do is kind of walk around the town, like use the normal like this little like pathway that exists, the dirt streets, and just listen, like passively listen, as an inconspicuous old fart at the conversations. But my end goal is to go step up to the ship, the new Thassilon ship.
Okay.
That is one of the things I was about to say. While I do listen around the docks, I also do make the rounds to listen a little bit around the ship from
Okay.
like just the side of the ship to see what is said.
Okay. Go ahead and make a gather information as well, Guano, as you're making your way through town, listening, keeping your ears peeled.
Sorry, I had to find my gather information there real quick.
Yeah, it's an exploration tab.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. And then Celian, what is Celian up to?
He's quite accustomed to, or I guess I should say they are quite accustomed to trying not to pick up too notice because he gets bullied a lot, even if it is like big brotherly from the sailors back in Osprey Cove. He just doesn't want to deal with it, so he's used to making himself small when he's already small. So he's going to be trying to be undetected, but he's looking for archives, stacks, library, some repository of knowledge to do further research when the time may come. Should be now, but definitely want to find out where Balthrin will get our rooms before I commit to that.
Okay.
And I'm happy to eavesdrop as I'm looking for this library.
Yeah, we'll have you do probably a couple checks. We'll do you go ahead and do a gather information and a seek check.
Should I do a stealth to be inconspicuous?
If you
as a
also
little
want to
nerd?
try and do an avoid notice check, you absolutely may.
Oh
Okay.
well.
Wow.
No one's noticing this little twink, this little nerd in the military town, which is a
Yeah.
blessing.
Apparently, this party is very good at like just slipping away and not being noticed.
Yeah, just tuck
That's what
myself
you
in my
get
little
when you're a
mantle
little.
and just.
That's what you get with a lifetime of being bullied. You learn to avoid notice.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll start with Belthrin. We'll resolve this here. So Belthrin, the closest you're able to find as far as any sort of like tavern or inn or anything in town is a place that people call or seem to just be referring to as Elsie's. Anytime like you might maybe stop like, hey, where's the tavern? And they'll be like, oh, you're looking for Elsie's. So they point you towards Elsie's, which turns out is that large red roofed building that is Elsie's. So if you're looking for a tavern, that looks to be where you'll be headed. As far as wandering through town, you don't really hear anything that is any sort of like useful information. It's just a bunch of like small talk talking about the weather, somebody's birthday coming up or something. So nothing super useful. But Elsie's here. That looks like that's where you'll want to be heading.
Yep. So he'll head off that way, if anything. So just to kind of get a more lay of the land, if anything, once he gets there.
Okay. As far as you're able to pick up Celian, we'll resolve this next. Go ahead and make your gather information now, and then your seek. And we'll see what you're able to see, or figure out what you're able to figure out.
And just for precision, which one of these ships we'd say on the map is the Bellamarian ship?
That one right there.
Okay,
Oh, I thought it was
that's
the
the one I
small
was
one.
going for.
Okay. I thought it was a little white.
the little one.
Yeah. But that's not for like cross ocean travel, is it?
That little one, no, that's definitely a nearby fishing vessel for sure. If not just like a ferry to get people to other places around the area. So, Celian, as far as gather information goes, is what you're able to pick up. You do pick up on something. Go ahead and roll me a d8.
You want a date? Oh, I had no idea. Okay, here.
Ooh woo. So, as you're moving around, you're able to pick up a few people talking about the Thessalonian ship currently in harbor. It seems that it's a trireme, is a merchant's personal craft, some important looking fellow, followed by an entire entourage, got off when it landed about a week ago. And the word is that it's a merchant from the east and is working out some sort of complicated trade agreement with Lord Ragnolf.
Lord Ragnolf is here, not New Thassalon.
Correct. Lord Ragnolf is the leader of the Goramites at Stoneholm. Essentially, the leader of Iron Harbor, who the elders of Osprey Cove should be talking to. Now, as far as archives go, there is no library in town, really. This isn't a big reading town. But if there is any sort of collection of scrolls and writings and journals, it is likely that they are contained in Stoneholm, which is where they took, or where Sister Vanda took Elder Ordwy. I almost called her Elder Osprey.
The big old stone.
Yeah, the big old
thing
stone
is- oh my
slab
God.
building over there. That is Stoneholm.
I hated you.
Uh, But you do spot Beltherin as you're wandering around. It seems Beltherin is approaching some sort of large red roof building.
Oh, I come up with a sort of a pouty face at first about no books. Damn it! Except the ones I brought, obviously. But
Mhm.
oh, uh, Mister Beltherin, have you found a place for us to stay?
Yes. I would think. Let's. I imagine we can probably find some information here, if anything. Maybe even a little bit of work to be able to pay for our night at the for while the elder is busy with his diplomacy.
Well, I suppose it is unfortunate that the work would be more your speed, I imagine. You're quite the experienced tavern presence, aren't you?
I imagine with two heads in this place, we might be able to gather a little more information as well. And Beltherin says this in kind of a hushed tone, if anything,
Oh,
to try
yes,
and not really bring attention to it.
that I can do. I can try, at least. I was hoping to find some place to read up on local lore or legends or even records of history, but there's nothing. I don't like it here.
Military towns aren't much
Reassuring.
for such things. I've noticed that it's more of a drinking kind of thing, from what I've always seemed in my
Mm,
days, especially at. But I can't tend to. You know me. I tend to be at the tavern most of the time, anyways. So
I do. I mean, not that I've been. Do you think they have sweet wines here, or is that too sissy for a place like this?
I'm sure they cater to many different crowds. We can certainly ask.
I mean, above the table, it's a port
Maybe.
town. They'll likely have port.
True. I do like a port. Nice syrupy wine. It's yummy. All right. After you.
All right, and we'll pick up with Beltherin and Celian at Elsie's here in a bit. Now, Cinder, go ahead, roll me a d8. It does seem you're able to overhear something as well.
1.
So you hear some individuals talking about the isle out there with the Rusthenge ruins. Those jagged spires you see just to the south, sticking up from what is known as Thunderhead Isle, that's Rusthenge, but we don't go there. Some folks say that they've seen some weird lights flashing up there over the past few nights. Haven't seen them myself, though, so I can't confirm.
Was that said in her presence, or? I mean, let me rephrase that. Was that just some people talking while she was nearby, or directly to her? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cinder's doing her best to not look like she's actively listening, which again, with that nat 20 above.
And where is your final destination? Where are you headed?
At the moment, just wandering the town, just trying to. Because Cinder wasn't part of the conversation of trying to find lodgings. She just sort of tucked her hood up and just started walking.
Okay.
And is just, like I said, just wandering. Figures at some point as she traverses the town, she'll either overhear something by the tavern or she'll trip over one of the others.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you in a little bit. So, Guano and Naya.
Can I take one quick little second to specify something?
What's up?
Since Guano is also on the dock with me, Naya will take the will obviously, as such, she'll be listening particularly around the ship, but she'll also make sure to take the time to listen to any little group that seem to be making some kind of effort to be out of earshot of Guano, because they can't see her and they're likely paying more attention to Guano than her. So
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much just what I wanted to specify.
So, Guano and Naya, you have a unique opportunity as you approach this ship from New Thassalon. It seems that there could be an opportunity to sneak on board
Oh no.
and poke around, see what's going on with the ship. If one of you wants to attempt to sneak on board, you absolutely may, or both of you even. Now, with that in mind, it also seems as if whoever's not sneaking on board could try to distract the crew to potentially make it easier for someone sneaking on board to do so. But
Okay.
that is, of course, fully up to all of the two of you at the moment.
Here's my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My plan was to engage. So Guano's gonna step up, and then I believe Naya will be able to use that to sneak on board. And if everything goes the right way, then maybe Guano can even be led on board too. So we'll see. But Guano approaches like an old man, like hands behind the back, like looking around, and then looks at the ship and goes, "Oh, well, what a beaut!" And kind of tries to. He doesn't really try to, but he is obvious to the crew and whoever's managing the boat.
Mm-hmm.
What a wonderful vessel. You there. Is that your ship?
The crew seems to be pointedly ignoring you. There don't seem to be many of the crew down on the actual docks. Most of them, as far as you can tell, seem to only be on the ship, almost as if purposefully not mixing with anyone else in town. And the few you
What?
can see are definitely pointedly ignoring you.
What is with this generation? I don't even get a salute. Have you not seen my... Gwenna looks to his shoulder. Oh, must have left it at home. Now, who's giving this old man a tour of this pretty ship? Is it going to be you? You there? Will you listen? Poke, poke, poke.
Meanwhile, Naya pays attention to see if we managed to grab enough attention.
You know, this honestly could work as a distraction. Now, the crew is not responding or reacting to you. Again, they're pointedly ignoring you, and there are none like around you to directly engage with. They're all up on this boat, so you could certainly be down there like poking at the mooring ropes of the boat and yelling up at it.
No,
So
if they keep ignoring me, I'm just stepping up on the boat.
there does not appear to be any way to simply step up onto the boat. There's no like gangplank at the moment extended.
Yeah, there is a way. It's called +7 acrobatics.
I mean, there is absolutely a tip to jump on it for sure. But yeah, there does not appear to be an obvious like, here's how you would get up. So that would definitely be that. Yes.
Meanwhile, Naya
let's
is
see.
hanging. Just so we're clear, Naya is hanging on the other side of the ship, so that When the opportunity arises, she can climb up from the side that's not toward the dock,
Okay.
since that will
So
be less watched.
while this is
Yeah,
going on, Naya, if you want to take advantage of this, you can attempt to sneak on and search the ship. That is up to you.
yeah. I'll do the basically if they keep ignoring me, I'm gonna try to jump on board, and
Mm-hmm.
whether or not they keep ignoring me, bear with me, or try to throw me out, then at least it's a decent distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do I roll for that? For sneaking on board, taking advantage of whatever Guano is doing?
Go ahead and make a stealth check and make sure it is a blind check.
Okay, just give me a minute so I do it right.
And then
No,
Lolo,
but
go ahead and make your acrobatics check as well, since yes, they are going to continue to pointedly ignore you. And if you want to try and leap onto the boat to forcibly make sure they pay attention to you, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean it's a jump, and I'm gonna take like 10 feet back,
Mm-hmm.
so it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
athletics.
Are you going up the mooring ropes?
um,
I'm just
To
jumping
leap?
up on the yeah, kinda.
no, nothing to add beyond it being a blind check.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Also, I'm gonna
Actually,
have
yeah,
to do
I just land straight up on the dock with a backflip.
For real. So,
Oh my god, with these 20s.
yeah, for real, right? You absolutely managed to somehow flip your way uh, in a forward somersault up off of the dock onto the ship and are quickly met with shouting sailors.
Now they notice. Hello, everyone. About time. I've been commanding for attention down at the docks, and nobody seemed to answer me.
What are you yelling
Hi.
about, old man? Get off the damn boat!
You get off the damn boat. I paid for the thing.
It's our boat. You didn't pay for anything. Get off.
I'll see your name on it, young one, and you'll talk to your elders with more discipline than that.
Naya, as you are up on the boat searching around, you are unfortunately unable to find anything of really any interest before it seems that you might overstay your welcome and will need to retreat or risk escalating the situation.
All right. Well, I'll just slink right back into the water, but I don't manage to find anything.
Unfortunately, not, it seems.
Not even a
Uh,
store of gunpowder or anything.
Unfortunately, it does not seem that you had enough time to find where all the secured gunpowder is.
Oh well, I'll just sneak back
oh,
out.
okay, I'll try to salvage a little bit.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I will give
I'm,
you your choice of deception, diplomacy, or intimidation to try and resolve this situation.
well, actually, because they want to kick me off the ship, right?
They do.
So I don't want to resist that, but
Okay.
I want to drag it out, like
Okay.
to play the. I'm not playing the senile man. I am the senile man, but it's just gonna take the time it takes to make me understand that I shouldn't be on board, and
Hmm.
like people who try to force me out like get some resistance of the like 18 strength guano, and just basically drag it out as long as I can so that I can scan the boat all the while, like looking at everything, see what I can glean.
Okay.
And since I get forced off the ship a little bit earlier than Guano, I'm gonna stand nearby in case he falls in the water.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Go ahead then, Guano. Since you're willing to throw hands at anybody that approaches, go ahead and make me an intimidation check. Let's see how off-putting you are. You're definitely getting herded by about 6 or 7 of these sailors. Big old burly guys.
I'm not very intimidating. I
That's
am
fair.
old,
That's
but
fair. But you are throwing hands, so absolutely.
can I
Let's see how they feel about that.
can I intimidate with strength? With strength?
I'll allow it.
Right.
Let me figure out. My strength is +4.
Yeah, what's your charisma?
Hmm? Come again?
What's your charisma?
-1.
All right. So roll that. Add 3.
Fair.
Okay.
So, 11.
They're a little annoyed. They don't seem to be too scared of you or intimidated by any means, but they're a little bit annoyed at you. But it
Mm-hmm.
does seem that you're able to definitely get a good look at the deck as you're being dragged along. Go ahead and make a gather information, just as you or a seek. I'll allow you your choice: gather information or seek.
It's gonna be a seek from me, dog.
It doesn't seem to be anything of real interest on the deck, at least. Other than, of course, the fact that it does seem to be the deck is fairly devoid of any sort of detail or interesting overture, and everything seems to be fairly sealed off.
Okay. Sorry, not really getting anything useful. One info I'd like to relay to everybody when I get back that I think you can give me. How populous is the crew? How many? What kind of numbers are we looking at for the crew?
That is a fair point. With me sneaking on board, did I get any sense of what might have been under the deck for the amount of them?
It seems to be a fairly standard amount of crew. They might be down a few heads, but as far as you know, that might be part of that entourage that supposedly went up to Stoneholm and might still be there. But it seems like a fairly standard amount of crew.
Okay. Well, this ends with, "You all should wash your tongues with soap, you silly sillies," and just jump off board.
Into the water,
No, on the
just back onto
on
the dock.
the
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Escorting you off, would they have thrown you into the water, or would they have like lowered the gangplank for you?
They would have lowered the gangplank to
Okay.
walk him off, yeah.
About to kill an old man out here.
Yeah, for real.
Little do they know he's one of the best swimmers in the party.
Yeah.
I'm an Undyne, but I'm really weak.
Meanwhile, Naya, after all of this, will just look around the dock, see if anyone else had anything to say, just as an extra precaution.
Meanwhile, Celian and Belthrin are approaching Elsie's.
And suddenly I can't see anything.
Because we don't have the token there. It's fine.
Yeah, hold on. I'll fix it for you three.
Fix me, Daddy.
Don't try to fix me. I'm too broken.
Ghosts. Do I sense my party's ghosts?
They're with you in spirit. Yeah, you should be
Yes,
able
that's
to
what a
see
ghost
them.
is.
Yeah, Beltherin, ceiling. That building up ahead is Elsie's.
All right. So we'll walk up and we'll kind of keep an eye out for. Are there bouncers outside? Are there people really like? Is there like a line of people waiting to go in? That kind of stuff.
No, it seems to be pretty quiet. You don't see anybody outside. You don't hear much activity.
Not even for like a tavern kind of place, or like I mean, as we get closer, does it sound like there's people inside?
No, it's pretty quiet.
Is the as Belthren walks up to the door, does he does it appear that it's locked or anything like that?
The sign seems to indicate
Hope
that it
not.
is open.
Come on, Celian, let's head inside. Opens the door.
So the main room here of this building, as you step inside, has the smell of baked goods. It's got some strange, bitter odors that one might expect from like an apothecary shop. The decor of the room seems fairly undecided about whether it wants to be a tavern, with like the tables, of course, a curio shop with the knickknacks and all the items on all the shelves, or an alchemist laboratory, as some of those items appear to be potions.
Oh.
The low shelves that line the walls display a staggering mix of elixirs, unguents, jars of glue, as well as fresh baked goods, cutlery, mugs, and the occasional magic items such as like smoke sticks or bundles of tinder twigs. Moments after you
Oh.
step inside, the door to one of the back rooms opens and an individual comes striding out. Oh! Pausing for a moment, she smiles. She's got like a handful or her arms full of baked goods. She turns quickly, places them on the nearby counter, grabs her towel, wipes her hands, and smiles. Eh, you're new, ain't you? I don't recognize you. Where you come from? Where you come from then? You here from that fancy ship that's in harbor, or did another weird ship come floating in when I wasn't looking?
Oh no. Uh, Hello. I'm Celian. We come from Osprey Cove, actually.
Nah, can't be. Osprey Cove, they haven't talked to us in ages. Too busy being stuck up, being part of a cooperative commune, talking to birds or whatever.
Hmm. Well, here we are. No offense taken, I assure you.
Wait, you're really from Osprey Cove?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we are. We're just looking around, looking for a place to stay for the night. Got some business in town.
Oh,
Nothing too serious.
Osprey Cove. Huh. Well, nobody's perfect. So, did you get yourself run out of town for being bad bird farmers or something? Just here on business? What's going on?
mostly fishermen. No, we... A diplomatic mission, actually. Our One of our elders is staying at Stonehome. We were looking for a place to stay ourselves.
Ooh, Stonehome, huh? You looking for a place to stay? All right. You know, Stonehome, I hear that place is run by the Gormites. Not my deal, but, appreciate the stability they bring. They like to fight and think the best person to fight is the best person to be in charge. I guess it's all well and good for them. Seems weird to me, but, it's not my religion.
It's
The
not...
place has been quiet for about the
Oh,
last week, though. Ever since the Thessalonians showed up. It's fine by me. Fewer Gormites on the street means less clanking armor and, more importantly, less noisy praying. But, still, it's not normal for them to be shut in this long. You said you're looking for somewhere to stay?
Yeah, maybe even if do you need a little help around here? I mean, we wouldn't want to stay for free if you know a place.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it is getting pretty late and you'd be strangers' hands. I figure we'd probably get here sooner or later. So, one of these days, I tell you, someone's going to have to build a proper inn here in town. But in the meantime, get it?
But
Yeah, I can help you out. Here, take a seat. She ushers you over here to this table.
I died in the distance. The pun killed me.
yes.
I've gotten to do that twice now. It's fantastic.
Took on a full shape of sailor, no problem. Killed by a pun.
does she
Ah.
seem to have any... I don't know if this particular deity has much by way of adornments or little maybe like beer mug earrings or whatever, but does she seem to be a follower of Caden and Kalian?
She doesn't seem to have any sort of the immediate outward evidence of being so.
Okay.
Now what? I tell you what. You want to stay here? I'll bring out dinner. You guys like grouse pies?
What's that? Do I know what that is? Are they good? Are they shit?
No, they're grouse pies. They're meat pies, basically.
Okay. Sure.
Sounds good. Sounds
Now,
good.
of course, no charge for the meal. It's
Oh.
included, but it's 5 silver for each of you. If you want to stay here, you can just sleep here on the floor. You got hopefully some bedrolls. We move the tables out of the way. You guys
Oh,
can just
wow.
stay here.
We really don't have any inns in facilities in this town.
We don't know.
Wow.
This is about the closest we got to an inn or a tavern in town is here. Is my place, and So I mean, if you want to stay, it's 5 silver a night.
There are
Grouse
2 more
pie?
of us.
There's how many?
3 more of us, rather.
There's
Yeah,
more.
we
I
have
don't
a- we
I
have
don't
a
know if
few
Naya's gonna
more.
sleep in a fish tank or something, but I don't know.
I mean, so I can probably just sleep at the harbor, but she's probably still gonna pop in to at least see everyone.
We have
Well, I
2
mean,
more
it's
on
the
land
same.
and one merfolk who I suppose would want to stay here as well.
I mean, it's the same price, 5 silver a piece.
All right.
As
As long as
long
you have the
there's
room.
plenty of room. She just gestures around.
If you say so.
Yeah, like I said, no charge for the grouse pies.
Where do... this is a port town. Does this city not do much trading?
No,
Such
we
that
do, but it's not
Do-
like they stay here.
They just sleep on their ships or leave immediately?
Yeah,
Stay in Stonehome.
yeah, we're not exactly a tourist attraction.
You mentioned
Oh, go ahead.
that you're not a follower of Gorham. I thought that this
No.
city would be kind of strict about that.
No. I mean, as long as okay about it, you don't make noise about it or, get in their way. They kind of don't care.
Well, that's good. I've heard perhaps not so warm receptions of this city as you feel about ours. So it's nice to know that some of them perhaps aren't as correct as we give them credit for, I say with kind of a pointed tilt of my head.
Yeah, what do you mean? She completely misses it.
I mean, I hope to have a wonderful stay in this place. Do you mind if I peruse the shelves while I wait for the meal? There's a
Yeah,
quite
of course.
interesting collection of curiosities here. I'm rather fascinated.
Of course, of course.
I'll start browsing.
There's baked goods too. I mean, they're better fresh, of course, but it's late in the day, so what are you gonna do?
I'm sure they're beneath the formaldehyde smell. The baked goods do smell quite nice. Perhaps they should be kept separately.
She just shrugs at that, like, what are you gonna do?
Keep them separately.
Now, would there be any kind of work that I could help you with to help pay for our lodging for my friends and I?
She pauses for a moment, frowning as she thinks about that. I guess I don't really need any, like, work, but, things have been a little iffy, you know? You know what I mean? A little jinky of lately. Things have just been off ever since the Thessalonians arrived.
Like what? Like what do you mean? Like tensions arising, or
No. Just everything's just a little bit like, not quite correct.
In
can
what
I
way?
can I kind of try and look into what she means? Just kind of her demeanor about it.
Yeah, I don't know in what way specifically. Like sometimes you just wake up and things just like feel off.
You have
You
no
know,
idea.
it's just been like that for about like the last week.
A week.
And what are you thinking of doing there, Beltran?
Well, I kind of want to see if she is not putting, if she's kind of like not telling like telling the whole story of it. I guess. I mean, I just kind of want to see. Well, I feel like the best option would be to kind of seek her motive for saying this to me.
Go ahead and make a sense motive.
Also, whenever you feel is appropriate, Mog, I'd probably be headed that way too, guided by whatever pie smell exists.
It seems that she's just, in general, been putting on a brave face and is just overtly worried. So she's sharing her concerns.
Are you? Are you? Are you? Does the Thessalonians presence bother you, or is it just something that just doesn't? Just I don't know what. You're welcome to talk to me about it.
We're strangers.
No, it's nothing like specific. Like I said, it's just like the general sense of just like wrongness, like weirdness. Like things just aren't right. It just kind of shrugs.
Have the
I do have a
clientele
feeling
been? Oh, go ahead.
very well. Sorry.
Hmm. What do you think, Cillian? Do you think it's something that we should look into, maybe?
Yes, please advertise
Of
right in
course.
front of it.
I think that I sort of changed the code switch a little bit to not be talking about like, yeah, we're gonna investigate the shit out of this place, to be like, of course, if something feels off, we should definitely keep um our leadership safe while she's here on her diplomatic envoy. If there's something off, we should know about it to keep our charge under our care, effectively.
Elsie nods.
Um, but yes, I believe we will be staying here for the night. Can you tell me about some of your collection here? Where did you acquire all of these? Like, what kind of stuff is on the shelves? Like, little creepy skulls and like bottled baboon foot. Like, what kind
Oh,
of
absolutely.
curios are there?
She starts like pointing around at different shelves around the room. I've got lots of things, mostly alchemical, a lot of glues for like ship making and dyes for just about anything you might
Oh,
need dyeing for. I also have a healthy stock of medicine too, antidotes and the like. Also baked goods. There's plenty of baked goods.
do you have? Oh, do you have stationery? Any high quality pens, papers, inks, bookbinding materials?
Inks, yes. Pens, yes. High quality, not so much.
Oh,
Stationery, yes, but also again not high quality.
very well. And still, he'll start looking for those.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find all that around the room.
Oh, how much for? Oh, say a sheaf. And for 4 pens. Are they fountain pens, like quill pens? What are we looking at? Bics.
Yes, very common thing to see around here. The ballpoint pens.
They're
They
actually
write in
click.
space.
They're click pins. Yeah.
Oh, oh, someone would be fascinated by that.
Now, above table, did we happen to get any spending money from the elder for possible lodging?
You did not. Nobody asked.
Well, that's for reimbursement if necessary. How much for these supplies? For some of these?
It is 1 silver for a writing set, which has the ink and paper and all that.
How long would that last, do you think? Because I have some in my inventory already, but you gotta, keep on top of that. Actually, mm, if it's not high quality, I'm kind of set. I have a writing set and 2 extra ink and papers in my bag, so like, I guess I'm not super worried about it.
Yeah, they're not great quality, so it might be like one of those like you're like, oh, you maybe I will, and then you pay.
Like,
Maybe I won't.
give it a little like test write on my own scratch pad and just. It, and never mind. Looking around at these curios, is there anything strange? Is there anything weird? Is there anything that has like any occult aura to it? Anything with cursed vibes? Anything like threatening toilet seats?
It doesn't seem so. Most of it is very mundane. Whatever does happen to be there, but there is the occasional, thing like it'd be like a mortar and pestle set that looks like it might have been made out of animal bone or something, but nothing really extraordinary.
And the potions about, are they labeled? Do they are they potent potions? Weird potions?
They are
New
not
transformation
potent at
potions?
all. They are minor healing potions. There's 2 of those. And then 2 of the, I think, the lesser? Yeah, 2 of the lesser antidotes.
Okay. And curious, there's like this nagging curiosity with him since the first person we met was apparently genderqueer in some way. Are there any gender transformation potions in here? Is there HRT on the shelves?
There does not appear to be any on the shelves, but it is not an unreasonable ask to make a request.
Just curious. This place is more welcoming than I thought. As the perusal, I say, oh, sorry, do we pay up front for the rooms?
Well, you hadn't yet, but if you do want to stay, then yes.
Here, then, yes, apologies. Yes, seems the best option. And
Naya, would you be coming back with Guano as well?
I would be coming back with Guano, yep.
Okay.
I'll have taken time to slip back onto the shore from somewhere off the
Yep.
docks.
2 of you would be arriving about now.
It's at this point when Cillian brings up the thought of payment. He kind of tries to give Cillian a look of, I don't have anything on me at the moment. Just kind of that look of, just
I'm broke.
yeah, basically.
I slide 1 gold across the table.
1 gold would cover lodgings for the 2 of you, at least.
It's all right, Mr. Beltran. I've got this.
That was very sweet of you, Cillian.
Oh, it's nothing really. It's sure.
Hello! I
Hello.
smelled
Yeah.
pie.
Naya, we found an inn of a sort.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Not really. We would just be sleeping on the floor here, but it's a roof over our heads and food. It's 5 silver for each of us.
The grouse
that
pie
looks wonderful.
is free.
I don't suppose you have any fish or any baked fish that I could have for a snack?
I'm afraid not. It's just the grouse pie left.
Oh, well, that will do too. Thanks a lot.
Do you not tire of fish? I mean, we live in a fishing village and, well, you hunt, don't you?
Fish are the biggest part of my diet. They're all so delicious. So many different types.
Have you
That's
not looked at her? She's made of the damn things.
Right.
Oh, how much do I owe you for this pie?
No charge for the pie. You are staying, right? It is 5 silver for the night.
Well, I'll probably be sleeping near the harbor, but I absolutely would love a place to stay just in case. So yes. And she'll slide the 5 silver.
She'll set up
Alright,
grouse
so-
pie for everybody, and then set one out for Guano.
I saw a tree outside. I'll be fine sleeping there. I must tell you all, I went to this new ship in town, and the the crew was particularly rude. And nobody seemed to acknowledge me until I jumped on board their ship. This
Yeah.
was, and they were not very undisciplined, very rude to the elderly. I thought it worth mentioning. Quite a few of them tried to push me off.
You
I
went
look at
after that Thessalonian thing?
Well, yes, it's a pretty ship, and I wanted to see it closer. Reminded me of my own one.
I look at Naya like helplessly, like, really?
Naya's kind of trying
Did he
to
really?
not grab too much attention, but yeah, she will confirm with a glance that it happened and she was there.
Oh boy.
I'm
They
sorry.
were weird.
I've got to say this. A different dimension over Yozora suddenly is like, why do I have a headache for proximity? Sorry.
Uh, Tilly will. Well, I, I suppose you got off lucky. Most particularly wealthy merchants don't take kindly to trespassers on the very valuable ships. You
Yeah,
are
I heard
you
that
are un.
belongs to a merchant, that ship, doesn't it?
Seems that way. What do you know about him? Them?
All I know is he and his entourage have been spending the last week in talks up at Stonehome. Who knows what they're up to? But I've seen that there's still some crew on the ship itself. None of them have come in to buy anything yet, which honestly is just rude.
I honestly would have prevented it, but I was busy elsewhere, so I could not really intervene.
What do
But
you
you
mean
are
prevented it?
unharmed, aren't you? It's hard to tell.
I'm fine. Can you not see? Like, every patch of bad shit is still there. In any case, I must say they were weird. This crew of that ship that seemed to pointedly ignore my very presence, even when I was poking them in the shoulder. I don't know what New Thassalon or whatever teaches their youngsters, but this is not the way to get a proper community going.
Ignoring you takes a lot of discipline, if I may say.
Belthrin's just shaking his head as he's sitting there.
All right. So while they're hanging out, Cinder, what else have you been up to in town? Was there anywhere else you wanted to poke around or look at, or would you have yourself made your way to Elsie's eventually?
Besides general just looking for information or trying to listen is, I guess the only other thing is just wondering if there's any wanted posters of her or bounties of either of her identities of Crimson Fang or as Cinder.
Go ahead and make a seek check. You don't spot any, so at least as far as you can tell, it doesn't seem like they have any knowledge of your former or lesser known occupational shenanigans.
It just means that there's less likely a chance of one of the sets of bounty hunters to come to this area and find her. Okay, so it's like just wandering around. It's like, okay. I'm guessing I've heard about Elsie's place.
Yep, you've heard of the most likely spot in town as far as inns or taverns go. It's going to be Elsie's, and you will eventually be able to make your way there.
What time is it?
It is getting to be later in the evening. It is probably about 6 or so at this point.
Oh, there's the door. Is this actually a public dwelling or is it?
It
Just a
seems
house.
to be.
Okay.
It has like a sign outside indicating Elsie's, and it has a indicator that it is open for business.
Okay. Well, Cinder will open the door and step in. as I find the door. Right. That's the setup.
Hello, Cinder.
Hello, all.
Oh, hey there. It's 5 silver. It comes with gross pie.
Cinder's going to reach into their pocket and pull out 4 silver. And frown at their hand.
Naya will throw in additional silver.
Cinder's going to be genuinely like, wait, what? Thank you. And there goes all the rest of my money.
And she will slide over some grouse pie for you.
Damn, we do need work. Fuck.
Guano's gonna pull out a ration and eat it, like, standing up. I'm not staying here.
Well, where will you be staying?
Told you. Don't you listen? It's important to listen to your elders. I told you the tree outside.
I see.
Oh, don't worry about the old man. He'll be fine. He asked us to look over
Alright, let
him.
me
That's
have a look at you.
Oh no, do not be rude.
You
Good
look
luck, Naya.
interesting, don't you? You've long ears like me, but they're rounded at the end.
Yeah, how tall is Elise? Is
She is a halfling.
halfling? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why her token's smaller.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
Yeah, you got the
stars.
little 80% token.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's quite alright. Don't let anybody give you shit about your ears. I'll punch them in the face myself.
She laughs at that. You got it, old man.
Sorry about him. He can be a little bit of a handful at times.
Well,
There are
I'd
worse.
expect him to be a handful if he's giving the Thessalonians some trouble.
You haven't
Oh,
seen
you
the
should
merchant. How deep is his entourage?
She frowns for a moment. She thinks, "Oh, a handful of people at least."
Do they look rich? And they still don't spend money here?
Decidedly rich, and rudely so.
I'm sorry. Hopefully we can make up for that. I may be perusing your alchemical wares shortly enough, but we will take the night to make ourselves comfortable, I'm sure.
Well, of course, of course.
Oh, and just in case, I'll still pay for the room for our elderly friend here, just in case he needs to come back in during the night.
Oh, of course. If there's a horrible storm, you may want shelter, so that makes sense.
And I was just gonna give an additional 5 silver to.
Speaking of, how did you all here fare during the recent storm?
Staying quiet, staying bundled up inside, and weathering it, as we do all the time. You know how it is out here on the Kindred Coast.
I sure do. Born and raised, after all. But was there any damage to the town? It didn't seem obvious, if there was.
A few loose roof tiles here and there. Nothing too horrible, thankfully. We seem to have escaped the worst.
That's good. We did well in Osprey Cove as well.
Well, that is good to hear. Even if y'all are a bunch of weird bird farmers.
You silly, silly one. Birds, you don't farm birds. They don't grow in the earth. You have to get the eggs.
Mostly barleys and... Anyway,
She laughs softly. I tell you, if you're interested in that Thessalonian ship, you know who you should talk to is a local hermit around here named Daryl Finnick. He's been squatting one of the abandoned manors up at Gold's Ruin. He's a strange one, and not really a citizen of the village, per se, but the Thessalonians might not even know he's living out there, so he might have had a chance to notice something that the rest of us haven't.
how far away is that?
Oh,
Not too
not
far.
another hermit.
Perhaps a day's travel tomorrow?
Oh, not even that much. Maybe 5-minute walk.
Oh. Oh, well, good. Sure. I'll tuck into the grass pie. How is it?
They're actually pretty good. They may be a little bit cold, Again, they're not super fresh as it's winding down the end of the day, but they're pretty good.
When she's not looking, I want to use prestidigitation to warm it up.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Have a hero point for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, other than that, she's happy to answer any questions you might have or chit chat, talk about whatever you might want to talk about.
Oh, I was wondering, do you have any Eaters Hall or doctor around this village that I could help out with? I'm always I have some skills with the medicinal arts, and I'm always happy to help out.
It seems that some of our party might be in need of funds as well. Am I right? And I look to
Oh, don't
Beltrin
worry, I've got you
and
covered if
Cinder.
we need
Like,
anything.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I don't know what I can do about helping out with odd jobs or anything or finding a way to make some money, but I don't know, you might be able to find something around town, depending on what kind of skills and whatnot you have. Um, let's see, and on that, well, we don't really have anything in the way of like a local doctor or like care ward or anything. Anything close to that would be up in Stonehome. They have a little bit of a clinic up there. They take care of most of that.
Ooh, I might have to go and see if I can offer my services.
For the record, Cinder's gonna glower at being called out for being out of money.
Belthrin's a little ashamed of it as well, but he tries to. He's been he's been trying his best to try and find some sort of business. So it's just like, I
if
mean,
there's nothing we could do. But in the meantime,
Yeah, I was trying to save you 5 silvers, but Guano doesn't care.
I do have. I've got lots of gold. Well, I have 8 gold on me. Like I kind of got my clink from my fucking job because I don't spend it on much but romance novels.
I've still got
I
about
mean,
2 or 3 gold left.
fine literature. but but we certainly won't leave you hanging. If there are opportunities, then we would be glad to hear of them.
Let's keep our let's keep our little priorities straight here. Georgia's gonna be waiting for Audrey, and like I said, if I want to get her to eat her lunch, she can't be pouty. Now, what time is it around? Do you think?
It's still about late evening. Still,
Yep, getting
the stars
closer
aren't out
towards
yet.
actual night now at this point.
Okay, so yeah, we're up in the north. And what season is it?
It is getting to be the colder of seasons, so it is a little bit
Late
chilly.
autumn.
Yeah, early
Just
autumn.
like in real life.
Probably.
Wow, it's just like me for real.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so like late autumn. Oh, God, I love that season. All
One
right.
thing I know is that when we were on the other map earlier, I saw one spot of water that was near Stoneholm. So Naya will likely go back to the water and sleep under the water while keeping watch on Stoneholm for the night.
Elsie gives you a bit of a look, Naya, and
Of course, she doesn't say that out loud. Like,
now you seem to indicate an interest in getting into Stonehome and offering your help. Now they're
well,
pretty closed up there, and the clerics of Gorham tend to have it well in hand. But if you're looking for a way to get in there on the quiet, I might be able to help.
Oh, I
ooh,
would love to be able to check up on our charge. And, well, Did they Stoneham put up the merchants and his entourage? Yes, but won't put up us and the diplomat from the neighboring city. That seems perhaps unfair
Well, I
or
mean, they might be
pointedly
full up at
purposeful,
this point.
possibly.
It's the hungry critter that springs the trap before the prey's in it and goes hungry still.
We can wait, Guano. You're right, I think. But I am curious.
And I mean, I can still try to check by the front door. All I'm offering is my service as a healer in case they need help. But it might not hurt for us to have a way in if we need to.
Is Elise just getting a thrill out of gossiping about this? Is she doing some shit on the sly? Like, can I sense motive on her?
If you want, go ahead, do a sense motive.
Can attempt to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
While trying to hide the fact that I'm actually very interested in what she has to say.
But she just offered that up out of nowhere, you know? Like, she's trying to get us in trouble. She snitched. She a narc. She wearing a wire.
She was talking
Or is she a
earlier a
retired
little bit
thief?
about how things have not felt exactly right lately, and she even mentioned about the Goramites and how they're, they 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 aren't really like
They're
her cup of
jerks.
tea. They do things one way where she thinks is maybe weird and maybe not the way to do it. So she's certainly not a Goramite or even really a fan. She just seems to just put up with him, just tolerates him. And whatever's been going on lately does seem to have her genuinely worried. And listening to Naya wanting to get in there, wanting to, offer their services, knowing that they would likely turn Naya away and not allow Naya to enter Stonehome, got her thinking that, well, if Naya wants to get into Stonehome, I might know a way to do it. And you've all been asking about Goramites and Stonehome and Thessalonian ships. So she's, as a pseudo outsider, she's kind of leaning towards maybe offering up some extra help that others might have held back on.
We're a convenient and an opportune and expendable resource for her to
Mm-hmm.
look into her concerns.
Means to an end, for sure, absolutely.
If you would like to tell us more, we are all attention. I try not to say all ears after Guano's comment.
Elsie will grab one of the grouse pies, take a chair, sit in it, and lean in almost conspiratorially. Now listen, before Stonehome locked down, I'd been going out there, daily visits to the stables, to nurse one of the temple's rosethorn rams back to health.
So it wasn't always that secure.
She shakes her head. Absolutely wasn't. Not always, no. Until about a week ago. So I'm worried, personally, that the animal has been suffering this last week without its medication. So for me, that's my stake in the game. I'm concerned and honestly curious that the poor thing's even still alive at this point. So, if you're interested in getting into Stone Home quietly, maybe looking around, I might be interested in maybe asking you to look in on a goat.
That is definitely something we could do.
She pulls a small biscuit-shaped, what looks to be a dose of some sort of medicine that is for this goat from one of her pockets and slides it across the table towards you all. And look, if say something were to happen and maybe you somehow opened up a couple of doors and rescued a goat and brought the goat back here, well, that'd be even better if that somehow accidentally happened in a weird circumstance of consecutive events that have no way to be premeditated.
I'm sure a goat can have so many ways to escape, and they can't all be bothered to look for it.
Now, I haven't been inside of the actual structure of Stoneholm itself, of course, but I've been through the courtyard a lot. A lot of times. Going from there to the main entrance to the courtyard to the stables. And there's a well on the opposite side of the yard from the stables. It's a fairly small well, but not too small. And I am pretty sure that that well connects to an underground stream that runs underneath Stoneholm and goes all the way out and empties into Iron Harbor, just on the east end of town there. I can point the area out where you can then track it back, follow it, take it to the well, and use it to climb up and enter the courtyard.
And it would be so sad if some fish were to swim up to this well.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Well, that's good. That's very good. And yes, of course. And then Guano leans down and kind of grabs Elsie by the shoulders and like kind of faces her to him. He goes, "No, you're safe here. You're sure you're all right.
Yeah,
Okay, good. We can definitely try to get your pet, but you have to understand the priorities have to be the priorities. And if you need to go join the other little ones, I know the place near it, tucked up against the walls. The guards won't find you. You let me know, all right?"
uh, sure. I think I'll be great, but that sounds good.
Very good, very good. All right, I'll go to my tree now.
She simply nods slowly at that, giving Guano a concerned look, and then looking at all of you is like,
Uh,
is this normal?
Cinder
uh,
very pointedly just rolls her eyes. It's like,
Normal is relative. We are all children to someone of that advanced age, I believe.
Fair. Man, is there anything else I could do for you? Anything else you guys need to know?
I think you've been of great help. Thank you. Can I take a look at this biscuit and see, does it seem to be just straight up animal medicine?
Go ahead and make a crafting check.
Ooh, neat. Oh, it says, drag item here. That's not that craft, is it?
No, just that one you should be able to find. I think just on your character sheet.
If need be, I can also roll a medicine if you want me to.
Bad. I got a hero point. No, I should use it for something besides this.
You're pretty sure it's medicine. You think?
Makes sense. Make a
Gotta
biscuit
be.
out of it, and a goat will eat it.
Maybe.
Let's slide it across the
I
table
mean-
to Naya.
To be fair, you have 3 hero points right now, right?
I know. We're gonna do other things that I think are better.
Sure.
I specifically have something I want to do.
Yeah.
That
Can I roll medicine to check what it is, or?
Sure. Yeah, it seems to be animal medicine as far as you can tell. Cleverly hidden inside of what a goat might think is a very tasty treat.
Yum yum.
I'll very carefully pack it up and put it in a side pocket.
Okay.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure your goat will find its way back to you.
Just laughs a little bit at that.
Once we finish eating the uh, grouse the grouse pie, uh, I do want to go outside when it's dark. I actually do want to ask her. Would you mind if I looked around the place? You have such a curious mix of crafts going on here. Is that? It smells like a point behind me. Like, it smells like that's the kitchen.
She nods and points at the door. Yeah, this one over here, that's the kitchen. And that's the alchemist lab.
Is that where you sleep as well? I would worry about the fumes.
No, no, no. This is just where I work.
Oh, oh, all right, good. Then we will be here on our own
Mm-hmm.
as you go and repose for the night. We'll be sure to mind the place.
Well, I appreciate that.
If we should need you for anything during the night to alert you, where about will we find you?
Well, like I said, I'll be at home. I'm just a few buildings down, and she'll point out one of the windows.
Ah, okay, very good. Thank you. If she doesn't
That's
leave, then I'm going
excessively
to.
trusting.
Yeah, for real. Like we could just clear out the whole inventory. But I'll take it. Don't commit crimes in a military town, I think is the takeaway from that. But once it gets dark, I'm also going to go outside. I want to. Oh no, we're still in the conversation, aren't we? About showing around the place.
Oh no, by all means, if you want to step outside and do whatever you're gonna do, go for it.
Okay.
Elsie is getting ready to head out.
Okay.
Mind the place. Be safe.
Have a good night.
You can spot Guano in a tree laying down a sleeping bag between branches.
Oh. Hmm. Good night, Guano.
Well then,
Sleep well.
I'll be going to the arbor to sleep near the stone home, just to keep it vigil.
Can I do something, Mark? I want to try to make my little tree alcove sleeping bag thingy as kind of stealthy, like not very noticeable if possible.
Like a ghillie suit.
And also, can you confirm that I have a view of the docks from here?
Yes, you would be able to see the docks from there. And if you want,
Perfect.
go ahead and do a avoid notice check. Okay.
Damn.
Camouflage it pretty well in that tree.
Jesus with these.
Yeah, right?
Can you bring back the town map just a second?
Yeah, well, in just a second. Celia, what were you
Yeah,
up to?
no rush, no rush.
I would like to take out a length of rope and wrap it around the trunk of this tree
Okay.
and make and tie a small handle into one of it to put my wrist through. just to hold on to. And I want to look up at the stars, look up at the sky. Is it still overcast?
A little bit, yeah. But you see a few stars peeking through.
With at least mentioning things feeling off. All my life I've been sensitive to things feeling off. And I've heard influence from the fucking cosmos, so I want to, like, I try to kind of keep my walls up when I'm going about my work, but this is a time where I want to open myself up to those voices, to those influences, to the universe's vastness and will, and try and feel if there is something wrong, if there is something dark, if there are otherworldly forces, demonic forces, with my understanding of that kind of lore. Just open my senses up. I think there's something like there's an action like psychometric things, but it's not to an object. I want to feel the vibe of the place. And I'm tying myself. I'm holding the thing so that the cosmos doesn't literally take me, because that happens sometimes. Does that make sense? Mog's silence is making me nervous.
Sorry, I had someone speaking to me. All right.
Oh. I'm one of those.
Yeah,
Oh.
not in the game.
I know. Okay. So what I want to do is open my. Did you get that? Did you get all that? Any of that?
I got the beginning of it.
Okay. So
So yeah, you're wrapping this rope around this tree.
okay. Tying a little handle in it so I can put my wrist through it and hold onto the rope, and engage the senses that I've had all my life, where I receive the voices of the cosmos, and just very sensitive to things feeling off. So that's why when Elise was like, "You never get that feeling with something you wake up and things feel off," I'm like, "You have no fucking idea." Like, oh my god, yes.
Exactly like Elsie's been
Constantly.
describing lately. Yeah.
Yeah, Elsie, not Elise, right? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, constantly. Yeah, I get that all the time. So I want to go outside, look to the night sky, try and catch the stars through the breaks in the clouds, and open myself, make myself receptive to those voices, and hold on to the ropes so they don't carry me away.
Okay.
At least it's a psychological grounding thing for him, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
So
So,
panic attack.
are you then, in fact, opening yourself up and doing your curse and becoming curse bound and all that?
If that's what it takes, then yes. I don't know what.
Okay.
I know in actions there's like a psychometric assessment, but that's to an object, right? This is just yeah, this is more oracular, I suppose. So yeah, if I take curse, then I take curse, and that's cool. Oh, I'm enfeebled.
You do. You feel a little bit weak, but you also feel a little bit empowered, a little bit more in tune, I suppose, with everything else, at least with the stars and the cosmos. It does seem as if there's something here, like things are aligning, things are pulling together in this area. You can feel the stars and fate at play.
Oh, I get that sort of distant look in my eyes as this feeling of like, oh, this is bigger. This is bigger than some little township squabble. And yeah, my mind's sort of lost in it, and I with that certainty, the certainty in uncertainty, it's a hell of a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of stand on my toes and feel my lightness.
So yeah, if anybody were around watching, your eyes would also be glowing with like starlight. Your hair, your clothing's a little bit floaty. So
Turn
yeah,
that
maybe
off, I'm
Guano
trying
can
to
see
sleep.
it.
Yeah.
Trying to sleep.
Come back down and try to blink it away. I guess trying to focus on anything in this state is dangerous.
Probably also just difficult in general. It's a little bit like
Yeah.
being a little high.
Yeah. I guess while I'm open like this, I try to think about what might this mean for Elder Ordwy. Ordwil. Is she
Along with
aligned in
everything,
this?
you definitely have an overwhelming sense of impending doom and danger for not only Elder Ordwy, but yourself and the Kindred Coast in general.
Oh, this is wonderful. I mean, no. It, finally, something that matters. I come back down to the ground and I untie the rope and put it back in my pouch. I go back inside. I look up to Guano, the vestiges of starlight in the dark, sort of maybe making my eyes shine. Not glow anymore, probably by now, but still there's a shimmer, and I just
Mm-hmm.
sleep well, Guano. Be careful up there, please.
Yeah.
Good, then. I'll see you in the morning.
You notice he's
Trust.
like extremely well hidden for some reason.
Yeah, where I saw you last, there's a shroud. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's just
oh,
dark now.
oh, there you are. Oh, okay. I see his beady little eyes. And I'm like, oh, there you are. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Please don't die out here.
No promises.
Fair.
Fair enough.
And Mark, when this is all done,
Mm-hmm.
if you could bring back the
Mm-hmm.
detail map, right? I assume we're somewhere around here.
Elsie's is right here. This is where everybody is at the moment.
Right. So I'll have
So
made
yeah,
my
you can
way.
move basically wherever.
Yeah. So I'll go back to the water and make my way to just about right here
Okay.
and sleep on the water, but close enough to Stonehome to keep an eye on things going up there.
Okay.
Like, but underwater so that nobody notices me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'll basically be being sleep, but while keeping a sort of watch over there for any activity.
Okay. So Belthrun and Cinder, are the two of you doing anything else?
Well, before that, I do have a question. This is mechanic-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any punishment for sleeping in our armor?
Yes. Basically, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, ever try to sleep in cosplay? It sucks.
So yeah,
I mean,
you
there.
will need to take it all off, of course, before and put it all back on in the morning. It is assumed that that is part of your daily preparations to put it back on, and you are not in any immediate danger as far as you know or as far as you anticipate.
Okay. Then in that case, while, for lack of a better term, disarmoring, if Beltrune's paying attention, he will notice that Cinder is very pointedly making sure that she is facing him and that her back is never to him. And the moment that her armor is off, she basically puts her back against the wall and is not moving.
Veltrin kind of looks and is just like, uh, he can sense that there is that she doesn't want to be. She senses the interest of not wanting to be caught with somebody behind them. Basically, it's just like Beltran kind of understands it, just being as like kind of always being aware of his surroundings, just because anything can come from anywhere, and it's just like something like that, and he just plays it off as normal in his mind, if anything.
Okay.
And he'll
Okay.
just kind of
Hmm.
be in the sense of he'll pull out his bedroll, lay it out, and call it a night.
Celian will set up his bedroll in the corner here and take the same. Well, not a length of rope in this case. It would be like a healthy length of leather strap, like a belt, basically. Also, sleeping in armor. Does that count? Leather armor, light armor.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that off too. Yeah, I would be sleeping in like a sleep shirt, like a
Mm-hmm.
long sleep shirt. I would be in the corner and try to like kind of hide myself as I change. Take off
The only
my flowing librarian clothes and just put on a big sleep shirt and hopefully no one's look. It would be embarrassing if Belthrin were to see my twinky little body in here. That would just be so very embarrassing.
Ooh.
Beltran's taking care of his detractable shield and taking that off and setting it aside.
Celian's trying to be polite and not stare at if you're just robing for bed. He's trying to be polite and not stare, but it's difficult.
He, I believe I don't really have any other armor other than my uh, than my gauntlet and shield. Really, my detractable shield. So I mean I would hope I wouldn't need to be out of my gi.
No, those are basically just clothes. You can sleep in just
Yeah.
clothes. Anything heavier
And
that is actual armor, you will need to take off before you go to sleep.
yeah, Guano's out of armor. That's fine, but he is sleeping with one eye open and with his bastard sword in the sleeping bag.
Celian does take a basically like a belt and does the same thing he did with the tree and just ties a strap around the nearest like heavy object, like the leg of the table next to me,
Okay.
and just ties it that and just has it there nearby. Kind of a panic attack prevention thing while he sleeps.
Absolutely. Almost like a
And-
weighted blanket of sorts.
Yeah, very much. Like if he ever feels like, I mean, fuck, like I've literally in real life, like I've had that feeling of like floating away before. So like having a docky to hug and ground is good. But in any case, it's a strap when he's away from home. Anyway, he probably has a docky.
If anybody's paying attention, Cinder's been just watching, just keeping an eye on the other two in the room, just like very much like just not trusting. Just like Axe
Just
is
the
near.
sus look.
Yeah, just
Sus
Axe.
eyes.
Yeah, Axe is near her, just like within easy reach, just like. And again, she's just keeping her back pressed to the wall.
He's kind of
Alright.
used to it.
Everyone go ahead and complete a rest for the night. You will be able to sleep through the night, complete a rest, and wake up in the morning.
While I'm going to bed, I have low light vision, but I'd have a little candle near me as I write.
Okay.
I would write poetry about
Okay.
the stars and night sky, otherworldly feelings. That, given the recent inspiration of doom and gloom, the poetry's probably going to be pretty dark in this instance. About maybe just light flickering and being swallowed by darkness, things like that. In general,
Okay.
some poetry.
But yeah, everyone completes a rest. Night passes by uneventfully. And in the morning, you're awoken as Elsie returns.
Does resting refocus my curse-bound stuff?
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that? Oh, okay.
It will fade away. You get your
That's
focus
good.
point back, or at least you should get your focus point back, and all your spell slots are back.
Yep,
Yeah.
it said focus point restored.
Yeah. Elsie returns in the morning. Steps inside. Ah, good morning. Glad you all hopefully slept comfortably.
Cinder's gonna
Sure.
snort, coming up ready, just like grabbing the axe ready for a fight before realizing it's Elsie. It's like, oh. Okay.
And with a smile, she'll step through the building into the kitchen and start working on whatever it is she's going to be working on.
The floor was a little hard, but at least it's more. Oh, she's gone. I'm gonna quickly put my clothes back on, and then look for like a chocolate Danish.
Cinder's
My-
gonna be
my
doing
eyes-
the same thing, putting their armor back on. Only moving from the wall once at least their back is covered by their breastplate.
Naya's probably just gonna make sure that everything went well tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Put on back her armor as she swims under the water, catching a fish along the way for breakfast, and taking a second to listen at the harbor as everyone wakes up to see if anything new is being said.
Go
But
ahead and make
she-
a gather information check as you make your way back.
Yep, give me a second.
But yeah, it does seem nothing happened overnight up at Stonehome.
Do you have coffee?
None that you see at the moment,
Damn.
but that doesn't mean that there won't be. And you don't overhear anything of any real interest there, Naya, but you are able to make your way back towards Elsie's.
That's good. So I'll join everyone else back at the inn.
Balthrin will stretch and grab his gauntlet and shield and put it back on. Tighten up his the strap of his gi and just kind of straightens himself up. Kind of looks around and just like.
Naya gets a jump scare as Guano comes off the tree.
Oh, hi, Grana. You want to come in?
Who are you?
I'm your fishy pet.
Good. I wonder where I've put that. Hello.
Mouthful of brioche. Celine just. Morning.
Good morning. And Elsie will set out some fresh bread, some morning pastries, and some coffee.
Oh, God bless you. Oh yeah.
Now look at you!
I want the
Quite
sweets.
adorable. Those ears are peculiar.
You said that already, old man.
Have I? I apologize.
And also, thank you again.
Cinder's gonna. I'm assuming very obviously Elise's discomfort is like. Was gonna park herself between Elise and Guano, but that's apparently not happening.
She seems to be moving about doing her work. And just stopped and made some breakfast real quick for all of you.
Everything seemed to be fine at the stone home when I got back here this morning. Uh, do you
That's
think
good.
do you think it's maybe time we went exploring this?
Yes. He says too quickly. Yes.
Well,
Do you think we
let's
should
do it.
head that way? Maybe check up on the elder, maybe? Just as he kind of leans in just a little bit to kind of not make it completely obvious.
I mean, come on now. We're just paying attention. We're just paying visit to a goat.
I am interested in speaking with this hermit, but yes, we should absolutely check up on Elder Audrey. I am quite concerned. This. It's hard to explain, but I feel we are all in grave danger of the events to come and should take great care to keep each other safe.
What? Again?
Did something happen, Samir?
It's nothing. You could call it a hunch.
Well, when you travel on tradition, you learn to listen to the rumblings. So if you say there's something that warrants us hurrying, I think we should.
Do we know if this hermit is on the way to where we're going?
Gold's Ruin is to the west. Stonehome is to the east.
But it's close.
But they're both about equally
It's
close.
like right at the puck. So I would happily speak with the hermit first before we commit to our sneaking mission.
I would agree.
That sounds like a good plan.
Shall we
Sounds
speak
like a
with the hermit?
wonderful idea. We could
Go to the
always.
ruins.
You can probably get both done in the day. Easily.
No,
I
absolutely.
think so.
Well, if we have to speak with a hermit, then arm yourself with patience. These people are quite difficult.
Don't we already know?
Despite himself, Celian just and just tucks into his coffee, and hopefully there's like is there like a chocolate Danish? Maybe something raspberry? Oh, if there's something raspberry.
Absolutely.
Yummy.
I got a fish or two on my way back. Do you want one of them, Samir?
Oh. Perhaps for lunch.
Oh, well, I'll get one for lunch then, later. And Naya just chomps off of a fish right off.
Belthren will take a nice pour of the coffee and kind of down it as quickly as he can. Black, just straight. No cream, no sugar, nothing. And just downs it, and it's like, all right, let's go. Let's do this.
Grab one more pastry for the road and go. I'd Sailor Moon my way out with the toast in my mouth. Just Naya.
Yes?
Where'd it go?
Since you asked, I've had these feelings all my life, and on the voyages that I've gone on, the The sailors, as superstitious as they are, and as impatient as they are with me, they do at least take my warnings seriously. So thank you. It's... What I'm feeling right now is something far greater than us. Far larger. Something that threatens the entirety of the Kindred Coast.
Well, like I said, I spent a lot of time traveling around, especially underwater, and well, when entire flocks of fish starts to get nervous, you learn to listen. So don't worry, your warnings are well heeded.
Thank you. And it's a welcome change of pace to have them addressed without sarcasm.
Oh, I would never.
Dealing with
Well
sailors
then,
is a trying experience.
let's go for now. Nothing is gonna solve on its own.
What's up?
Can I try a recall knowledge of some sort to see if I can vibe out something about oracles in general? See what might be affecting our little Cillian here.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll a recall knowledge.
And as we're heading out, can I take a feel for the residents in the area as we are traveling off to the west?
Yeah, if you want to do another gather information, go ahead.
Should probably do that as well.
There's definitely something about the occult that you are remembering, Guano, that seems maybe related to Celian and what you saw last night. But for more, you'd likely have to ask Celian.
Okay.
But you definitely know that it was some sort of occult magical power for sure.
Noted.
Cinder, roll me a d8. Belthrin, you don't really hear much of any interest as you're making your way out of town.
I cannot apparently. I was like, okay, I can get 20s on the damn dice, but I can't get a high roll on a d8.
They hate you.
We had a 2 before. Is it the same thing?
You overhear a couple of individuals talking about something called Fisher's Point. It appears to be a little old shack out west on the road. They claim that there's decent fishing from there, if you don't mind the waves soaking you. And they think that a hermit named Daryl Finnick might live out there. They think. Maybe he's been shacking up at Gold's Ruin, though. They're not sure.
Good places then. Would I be able to listen out for hearing people talking about us and Elder Ordwy? I am very concerned for her well-being.
Absolutely. Go ahead and do a gather information as well. And roll me a d8.
Lucky.
There does, in fact, appear to be some individuals talking about you. In fact, one of them spots you, and you hear them, as they point at you. Are you from Osprey Cove? Really? You don't look nearly as spineless as they say.
I
But
don't?
why do they call it Osprey Cove? My mom says you talk to birds there. I'd rather talk to rams. They're strong. Sometimes I follow them up to the hills and watch the warriors fight on the roof of Stonehome.
We have rams. Uh, mm.
And in
I
the
do my best.
ramblings, they wander away from you, just as they are now talking clearly to themselves.
Okay, great. Yeah, if there was a time to get a breath in, if they were actually asking me questions, I try to tell them about the history of the town and its namesake, but I guess I don't get a word in edgewise.
Yeah,
It's
100%. They're just going on and on with that. Oh, you're really from there? Oh, really? That's
because
crazy, man. You
the
know, I know
nestings
about
of
the.
the um, we have rams. We do raise sheep. Okay. Oh, you actually typed it in. Okay.
Yeah, I put it in for
Nice.
you.
Makes it easier
I
for me
mean,
to copy it to my notes. I'm not just
I don't look
shorthanding it.
like I'm surprised when it says you don't look nearly as spineless as they say. I'm like, I don't. That's not what the sailors tell me.
Eventually, you do make your way out of the major part of the village proper and further back west along the road into a section that overlooks the harbor and is up in like these foothills almost. It's the section known as Gold's Ruin. About a decade ago or so, there were a few aristocrats from Magnamar that arrived in Iron Harbor and paid a small fortune to Stonehome for 3 plots of land that were up here in these cliffs that are just to the west of the village. Each one of these aristocrats represented like a different family from Magnamar, but for whatever reason, they didn't stick around. These 3 partially completed manors now have been left ever since to just slowly fall into ruin, which is how the area got its name, Gold's Ruin. The 3 manors, there's the most westerly one, is now at this point little more than just a foundation, just old rotted wood planks at this point, long since worn by the wet stone or the wet climate to just slowly rot away. The easternmost manor is partially collapsed, part of the nearby rock and mountainside. Looks like in a mudslide collapsed upon it and crushed part of it. Whereas the most central of the manors is the one still in the most sound condition. It seems to, at least as far as you tell from a distance, include a mostly leak free roof. Its walls look like they're maybe little more than just bare framework, but at least still holding up.
Okay. So I scope out the area. Uh, open myself up, not the oracular way. Leave the during the day anyway. The sun's too intense. But just open myself up to the smell of the sea, the sound of the breeze, and the waves, and hear if anything is.
Hmm.
Hear if I hear any fellow ramblings of a hermit like Guano coming from any of these buildings, or smells, unusual smells as we proceed downward towards
Yep.
the split in the road.
Belthrun will be kind of looking around, seeing if there's anything that should be of concern or anything like that.
I'd
Just
make a
kind
seek check
of.
for both of you.
Meanwhile, Naya just looks around and trying to see where her attention is best spent.
Go ahead and make a seek check. none of you spot any obvious signs of any sort of danger or real trouble in the area. In fact, for the most part, you don't even notice or see any signs of habitation or humanoid occupation in the area. It looks pretty barren and empty. All you can hear really is the wind howling between a few of the wooden frames of some of the houses.
The one on the east looks like real fucked, but the one on the southwest here looks like it's a more sound structure.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to look at that one first if anybody's habitating here.
Absolutely.
Beltran will be right beside you, making sure everything's okay still.
Skinner will be bringing up the rear.
Okay.
Keep a hand on the hilt of my sword and escort Cillian.
Okay.
Obviously, I keep my gates open and my kinetic gate open just in case anything happens.
Try and push the broken ass doors open.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yep.
As you open the doors and peer inside, there is obvious and immediate movement. Something near a large, what may have been like a hutch or a cabinet of some sort, when it was still in good condition, but has long since fallen to disrepair, moves around and spins towards the opening door in the sudden appearance of sunlight. Oh!
Oh.
Oh! Ah!
Hello.
Greetings there. Greetings, please. Daryl.
Oh,
Daryl's the name. Daryl Finnick? Well,
just
used to
finished.
be.
Oh, good.
Well, it used to be a lot of things, but most recently an underpaid architect, and now it's just Daryl. He holds his hands out, arms wide. These are my houses. What do you think? The rest of the town doesn't like them because they think they're haunted, but I don't mind. Ghosts never bothered me much, and there's plenty of space. Not many visit Iron Harbor, but here you are.
Hello.
What can old Daryl do for you?
I'm Cillian Monsoon.
Well, hello, Cillian. Welcome to my homes.
We were looking for you.
Hello!
We wanted to speak with you. But I'm sorry, haunted? Can I feel if this place is haunted?
Look at that drunk ass bitch.
You got a red nose. Does this place feel haunted to me? If I have a sensitivity to such things?
It absolutely does not.
Great. Good. Haunted, oh. Well, haunting's not so bad, but I think you should be safe.
I certainly
Hey,
hope
y'all.
so.
What are you all doing with your shoes on? That's rude.
Let me look at the floor. Is it safe?
You would want to be wearing shoes if
I'm wearing
you're
shoes.
of sound mind, yes.
You know,
It's okay. Guano has like 2 inches of like
yuck.
You like gross callous feet, yeah?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean-
Cillian's little feet are very tender.
I mean, I don't really have feet, Guano, so I don't really have my shoes on. And
Oh.
Naya just wiggles the tip of her tail at Guano.
Oh, watch for
Doesn't
spiders.
register.
Well, we wanted to know. Sorry, you designed these buildings?
I most certainly did. Now, who are all of you? Where are you all from? You're certainly not Goramites, and I don't recognize any of you, and I feel like I would recognize people from Iron Harbor by this point, but so who are all of you? Where are you from about?
Well, obviously, you're right here, the high city. Where else are we going to be from?
Osprey Grove is the alternative. Yes.
Oh! Osprey Cove! I've always wanted to visit. Probably more to my liking than this place, from what I've heard.
You don't
Iron
know.
Harbor's got a tough name and tougher people, and It's not really for me. I tried being tough and failed. I'd rather just fish and make art.
How relatable. Same.
Well, maybe
I'm
the cove
missing,
would be better off for you, if anything. By the way, I'm Belthrun.
Pleasure to meet you, Belthan.
and I'm Naya. I'm a nomad that has been taking residence in Espreco for a little while, so I'm around to help.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Naya.
I
Cinder.
absently finger my book of poetry in my pouch that mention of creating art.
Greetings, Cinder. So, what can old Daryl do for you?
We were wondering if you noticed anything strange around here the past week. Anything unusual, out of the ordinary, other than suspected hauntings, I suppose.
You know, they've always said, and he gestures off in the distance towards about the direction that Thunderhead Isle and Rusthenge would be. They always said Rusthenge itself is cursed, but I think it's honestly just old and useless. No one needs an old metal monument of twisted, rusty metal. Instead of saying there's a bunch of junk on that island, they say it's cursed. But that's a superstition, of course.
And weirdly enough,
Oh no, it's quite cursed.
The locals seem to think strange things happen over there.
meanwhile, I don't suppose you have noticed any unusual activity of late. We had a little incident back at Esper Cove that brought, brought peculiar attention. And on our way here, well, I don't suppose you know anything about deep gnomes or dratnas?
Well, what do you mean? I suppose, what do you mean specifically?
I mean, it's rather unusual to have dratnas around, don't you think? I know. It's rich coming from the rural folk.
Daryl shrugs a bit about that non-committally. But, suppose as far as, strange things I've noticed about town, I suppose. Obviously, you've noticed the new Thessalonian ship in dock there. Been there about a week now.
A week?
And the historically open Stonehome closed its gates and locked down around the same time. Yes?
Oh, absolutely. I know a little bit about Stonehome for sure. Stonehome, I know it's old. That much is for certain. I know the lower portion is at least actually the upper sections of Stonehome, the upper works there are pretty new and, in my opinion, not nearly so well made.
Really?
Gorm's not a god of architecture,
I
but
heard
I
the
suppose,
warriors fight and train on top of Stonehome. Is it not well
indeed,
made enough
indeed.
for that?
Well, I suppose it's well enough made, but yeah, it works well enough for them. I'll say that. It's an interesting place, though. I've long wondered about the interior. I've always wanted to see it myself, but I've never had a chance to go inside. Never a real reason to do so, nor really been welcomed in. And that's just in Iron Harbor in general, honestly.
Have you been living out here for long? How well did you bear the storms so recently, a few nights ago?
Oh, serviceably well. The houses do hold up well enough. I've been here. Some years back, I came in with the Valdemars when they were going to develop this area, and well, I eventually got fed up with not getting paid my due. By the time I realized that the locals nearby are even less pleasant, the Valdemars had left me behind. So I've just been spending my time here since then. I guess honestly they kind of forgot about me. Now I just fish and explore, and I sometimes make little sculptures and carvings. And he gestures towards the hutch.
Does he seem to be of sound mind? Does he seem to be in his right mind? I mean, he's just invited strangers in out of nowhere, but does he? He's gregarious and amiable and hospitable, and he's living in what's essentially a ruin. But that it's liminal spaces. It's fine. Does he seem to be sane?
He doesn't
Have his shit
seem
together?
to be of questionable sanity, at least. He's definitely not in ideal circumstances and has made interesting decisions and choices, does not seem to be otherwise out of his mind, no.
Yeah, fuck it. No judgment. Choices are choices. You can live off the grid. It's cool. But yeah, okay. So he seems to be. Does the portrait reflect? Does he seem to be a bit of a drinker?
Absolutely.
Okay. He's got the broken capillaries.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, you interested in that ship? I'll tell you, it showed up about a week ago. A delegation of Goramites. They met them out there at the pier. Watched from the cliff, and he gestures again towards one direction that would be some cliffs that would face down towards the village of Iron Harbor. And for the most part, after this delegation of Goramites met them, they headed off together towards Stoneholm and haven't come back out yet. I've been keeping an eye on them after dark, on the nights when it's not too stormy, of course. And I tell you, I saw them unload a big crate from the ship in the middle of the night. But they carted that up to Thunderhead Isle instead of bringing it to the mainland. And I've seen some weird lights up there too a few nights now.
They took it from Stoneholm or from the ship?
From the ship. And they took it from the ship and carted it up to Thunderhead Isle rather than take it up to Stoneholm. Now I've been seeing weird lights up at Thunderhead Isle.
Then maybe we should.
Sorry.
Belthrin's just kind of looking at him, just taking it in. Is he really? Does it seem like if he's just convincing himself, or if it's something that is a little bit more of the product of his drinking, so to speak?
It seems to be genuine, as far as you can tell.
When do you see these lights?
At night. Just
Every
a few
night?
nights, not every night.
How many in the past week?
He pauses for a moment, considering. Over the last week, I'd say at least 3, maybe 4 times. I'll tell you, that Thunderhead Isle, the Rusthenge, stay away from that place. I went there once. Yes, old man?
Have they ever come before that past week?
Those lights?
No, the ship.
The ships?
Keep up.
No. This is the first time a new Thessalonian ship has been in harbor for this long, as far as I know.
You throw out silly words without knowing their meaning. There is no Thessalon, not for thousands of years.
No, but there is a new one.
When was the
One of
last
the
time we
somber.
saw it?
So how's Guano take that? He's like blank.
He goes very somber.
Oh. Yeah.
When was the last time you saw these lights? Here the last couple of days, or?
Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, I'd stay away from that Thunderhead Isle. I went up there once, years back. Felt like I was being watched. That was more than enough for me. But lately, those weird lights I've been seeing the last time was probably not before the storm, I think. It's never anything bright, nothing like overt. I thought it was imagined it the first time I saw it, of course, and you know what, I doubt you can even see them from down in the village. The mountains probably block the side of it, but up here on the cliff, we've got a much better view of Rusthenge, and yeah, weird lights. You ask me, the Thessalonians are up to something. They're over there and makes sense, you know. Rusthenge is one of their old buildings, so they're probably up to something involving it.
Was it
Audrey's a
Four?
smart girl. She can handle herself. For a moment. For a moment long enough for us to check this.
Were the lights before, during, or after the storm?
Like I said, last time I saw them was before. I didn't see them last night, and clearly didn't see them the night of the storm.
You held up in here during the storm.
Hmm?
The night of the storm, were you here? In this
Yes.
building?
Yes. I was in a different room, though.
That one? May I?
By all means. Gestures for you to go ahead.
Does it look waterlogged? It looks fine. I
Yeah,
mean,
it looks fine.
dirty. Stuff knocked
Yeah,
over, but
dirty for sure. Old busted furniture that was left behind for sure. But otherwise, fine.
all right. When the storm occurred, there seemed to have been an attack on someone who came to our city and died in Central Square. The sorry, what was the name of the deep gnomes?
Dratana, I believe it was.
Drathnalar.
Yeah.
Drathnalar.
Drathanlar. As we traveled along the road, there was a Drathanlar who had apparently been ambushing individuals. You haven't seen anything of the like from here, have you?
My goodness, no. That's horrible. I'm
Someone
glad you're all
betrayed-
right.
It was dangerous, but it seems like someone had taken. It seems unusual for an opportunist to be waiting during such a dangerous storm.
I'd say so. Especially
Someone
one from the Darklands.
Someone took care to place them there, I think.
How do you know what it is?
Who, me?
Not you. You.
I was there. Oh,
No,
Do you know the Darklands?
I know of them.
Do you see people from the Darklands?
No.
this city has been surprising me. This town, with its acceptance of certain people who are different in certain ways. But would people from the Darklands be welcome in this place?
I suppose if they were amiable and carried their weight, fit in, they'd probably be welcome.
I see.
Well, I do believe you have given us a lot to mull over. But in the meantime, is there anything we can do to help you? You've been helpful to us. I'd like to see it returned.
You know, honestly, there is, and he starts to shift a little bit. He looks a little sheepish. If you be willing, and this is a big favor, and you of course feel free to say no, but I'm tired of living alone out here, and I want to get back to village life. Do you think it'd be possible if I come back with you when you go back to Osprey Cove, if you go back to Osprey Cove, you are going back, right?
Oh,
Oh, I
absolutely.
don't,
We have our Hilda
I,
to bring back no matter what.
I don't see why not. We can speak to Elder Audrey about getting you set up
Then,
with
then yeah,
land that
yeah,
we
I
can.
would be very much appreciative if I could come back with you to Osprey Cove. I've tried it before, but I can't make that walk, that journey, that broke a bridge. I couldn't get past it, so I'd be much appreciative. I I got a bit of treasure I'd be willing to give up as
Uh,
thanks.
on that, with the
Dance
question sense motive.
motive.
Yeah, it's like Cinder's doing the whole sense motive,
I believe that was sense motive, but I think Lolo got cut off.
Go ahead.
Said same thing. Yes. The
Yeah,
long drawn out
seems
sense
a
motive.
little odd, and he just kind of seemed like he was stumbling over his words.
I want the sense motive too, but I do believe he probably is just tired of living in there.
I'm excited at the prospect of having
You never
another
know.
another sensitive in town, like another artistic individual, but like it feels too good to be true.
But this feels like get me the fuck away from here.
There is no ulterior motives or danger to his offer. There is desperation and hope that you
Just for a
won't.
better life.
Yeah, he wants to get away from Iron Harbor. He wants to try to start over in Osprey Cove, and he's been in a harsh place for long enough that he doesn't believe it's possible that people will just help out of the kindness of their hearts. So he's offering up this treasure to ensure you don't betray him along the way.
Aw. Celian heart wrenches a little because like, he just I know
Well,
exactly what it's like.
There is also a little bit of guilt underlying his offer. And I admit it is a bit of treasure that I may have nicked from Boss Valdemar once it became apparent he wasn't going to pay me what I was worth, but it is
well, you
something I
know,
would offer all of you.
you know what they say. Work done deserves payment, whether said payment is offered willingly or not.
And you're
But
right.
that aside, we do have business right now here, but we absolutely will make sure to come and pick you up once we're done.
Of course, of
I
course.
would be
What's
happy to help.
your business now?
Well, our elder seems to be in diplomatic talk at Stoneholm, and we're to make sure said business talk goes over well. We have our
I
misgivings.
see.
However long that takes, we will be in town for that. But
I see.
there are I understand completely. People like you and I suppose myself are not often valued for our true worth. I get it. I would be happy to help. Whenever we make our leave from here, then I would be happy if you would join us. Do you like poetry?
With a very appreciative grin and a quick succession of nods with the head, he says, "Well, I actually do quite enjoy some poetry. Yes, it's certainly not my area of expertise by any means, and not the first place I would go to seek out art, but I do like it."
I'd be happy to speak on it when we meet again.
That sounds wonderful. Celian, right?
Yes, Celia and Monsoon.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, truly.
Of course, that's all right with with everyone else, of course.
He looks up hopefully.
Yes, of course. And we'll take the money.
Of course, we'd be happy to help. Like I said, you seem like you'd be better off in Osprey Cove.
And like I said, we'll definitely come back for you. For the time being, we may be involved in some exploration and whatnot, so it's probably just safer for you to wait for us here. But absolutely, we'll come back for you. And obviously, I can't speak for everyone, but I wouldn't take your money until we actually do help you, you know.
Of course, of course. Well, you'll know where I'll be. One room or another.
Well, it was fun. It was fun talking with you. Thank you for all the information.
Of course. If there's anything else I can do to help, please just let me know.
Well, I think.
Out of curiosity, what are you offering us exactly to get you to Osprey Cove?
This, here. And he will turn towards the hutch and he will open up one of the drawers on it and root around in there for a moment before he pulls out what appears to be a tiny brass key set with small gemstones.
A key.
Indeed, it doesn't go to any of the locks on the aisle or open anything that I know of, but it is worth about 20 gold.
Healthy. May I observe that for a moment? Tactily, I mean.
I suppose, and he will hand it over.
I'll keep my palms flat and make no sudden moves as if to pocket it or anything. Sprint. And is it possible for me to try a psychometric assessment on it?
Absolutely. If you'd want, go ahead and do so. Interesting. Let's see what we get.
Yes. Is there a role involved in this? Here? Act.
No need to do any sort
Not
of
unless you
rolls.
take that.
But let's
Okay.
see here.
Just, I close my eyes and try and block out the sun that's beaming in from into the room and open up the senses.
You don't get much from it. No one's put a lot of emotional significance into this. But you do get a small sense of curiosity and just the barest flash of a hint of joy. Childlike, unbridled, unrestrained joy. Just the merest flash. And that's about it. But yeah, you get that.
Thank you. And do I get the face of the person?
It is not a clear picture of a face because it's not a very deep emotional resonance.
Okay, I see. So, like something that has a lot of resonance, then the effect listed would be more clear. But okay.
Now, look, Beltran will kind of lean over and look at the key itself. Does it have like any kind of symbols or anything that would be of note that we would know of?
Go ahead and make a recall knowledge check.
Can I do the same with this?
If you like,
intense
absolutely.
curiosity? Because I think I'm pretty good at that.
Nothing seems to really jump out at you as far as any sort of connections to well-known iconography, symbology, religious symbolism, magical symbolism. This seems to just be a tiny brass key with a bunch of gemstones on it, and no deeper significance, at least as far as you can tell.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
A fascinating artifact, to be sure. Beautiful treasure.
Thank you. It was shiny and pretty and looked nice and was convenient to swipe.
Well, we'll keep an eye for any lock that might match it. But for now, it might be best if you kept it. And do keep it safe.
Of course, it and I will be here waiting to head back to Osprey Cove with you.
And to imagine that if we don't, fuck, what was his name? Boss, something with a V.
Wait, who?
His employer. His previous employer.
Oh, the Valdemars?
Valdemars, yes.
Yeah, the one he stole the key from.
Yeah, I imagine if there is something that this key goes to, it's in the possession of the Valdemars. Which we will not be seeing anytime soon. So, sure. Good, great.
Yeah, if you wanted the name.
It was a pleasure talking with you. And I'll make moves to leave.
Absolutely. All right, where are we heading next? It's not even lunchtime yet.
We want to try Rusthenge first, and then make our higher risk maneuvers? Potentially. I'm concerned. Whenever somebody has suspicions and superstitions about a place, I am almost guaranteed I'm going to feel something there.
Getting to Rustin will involve its own series of complications, since it is on an island that is not easily reached, except by boat.
Naya and I can swim. I can speak myself in that I'm... You may not believe it to look at me. No one ever does. But I am quite an accomplished deep-sea diver. I'd look at Cinder. You might need a vessel.
You don't say.
I might not look it, but I can swim pretty well. But this might be more on open water, which might make it a little bit tougher for us to get to.
Well, I'm sure that Cillian and I can help you all make your way there. Especially with my control of waters.
What do you think, Guano? You seem to have some feelings on the matter of priority. If we go to Rusthenge to find that information, we are not likely to upset the local powers that be. Whereas if we go to liberate the goat and get caught, we would possibly be in more hot water.
I know not with certainty what should be done this moment. I We should not let hazard and chance dictate our path along this shore. I would know what goes on.
At Stoneham.
Well,
No.
well, I suggest we make a quick little trip to Stoneham just to get news to ensure that everything's fine, and then make our way to Rusthenge. I doubt they'll be all that forthcoming on information, but at least it might not look like we are completely neglecting our duty to them, and we might not be quite so much in a rush to do anything rash if we are there too.
Are you suggesting we make ourselves known?
Well,
We should at least check in on her. We are supposed to be keeping her safe.
We
yes,
should actually. Yes, we should make a show of it. We should go right up to the front gates. I am being serious.
that was my point. Yes, we go to the
Yes.
front gate, ask for a report or at least some information on Elder Hordwig's well-being, and then
You'll
check
have
on
reason to be there.
Rusthenge.
Yes. All right. And then we can actually sneak in and rescue the goat and find out what truly goes on.
Hi.
Did young Ordway give us a time frame of how long she would operate there?
No. So we should check in right away.
All right. Well then. I'll follow you on the way, young ones.
Wouldn't hurt to check.
You said you like poetry.
Yes. I love it.
It's good. Poetry is decent food for the soul. One should strive to complete their existence with something to think about. Oh, it reminds me of this tale of old I aspire to. As languishing, its grasp releases, and exhausted, the leaf perishes. Upon waters of time it falls, its nuptial rings growing for all. A ripple reaching, posthumous, the shores of life past and future. Lapse both blissful and ruinous, the roots of those who are fewer.
Naya kind of drags Guano along as he speaks, not interrupting, but making him walk as he speaks.
Celian's footsteps slow as he takes in and just... Oh. That's beautiful.
Beltran is kind of ignoring the droning on, so to speak, of Guano, and is more paying attention to the citizens once again, trying to collect more information.
It was wonderful. Where did you hear that?
Go ahead and make another gather information.
I heard it. It was. Oh, dear. I can't seem to remember.
You don't overhear anything of any value, unfortunately.
That's all right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I agree. The soul needs nourishment. Desperately. And just as sallow fields starve the seed, certain places starve the soul. Thank you.
Oh, for what? It's just old fantasy. This. You do with it what you will.
Sometimes fantasy is all we have. Thank you for sharing, is what I mean. Oh, it has like, sort of like code switch again and put on his game face for approaching the guards. Like, gearing yourself up to make an important phone call.
Knock a fucking knock?
Yeah, is anyone else posted by the gate, or is it just a fucking wall at the door? What's up?
It's a
I
good
saw
question.
something loading.
It would seem, as you approach, that Stoneholm is going to be a difficult place to get into. There are no guards at the gate. There's no one, as far as you can tell, on duty. The front gate appears to be locked tight, and sharp iron spikes deter, hopefully, folks from climbing the fence.
Naya will simply stride right up to the door and knock on it.
The spiked walls are 20 feet high. And as you knock upon the gate, there's no response.
Naya knocks harder on the gate. I like a lot harder.
It's not good or evil, it's a gazebo.
Because he will eat you. You die.
There's no response from within.
What would be the check to listen to see if I can hear anything on the other side of the door?
A seek check. You can hear nothing from the other side.
That's disconcerting. I can't hear anything on the other side of this door.
How
Does
sturdy
this... Go ahead.
How sturdy does the door look?
Solid, sturdy, reinforced.
Okay, so if I were to use my kineticist to knock on the door real hard using bludgeoning, I would not actually damage it.
Oh, you would do damage to it as it. Well, you
I
might
mean, I
do
would not
damage
bust
to
the
it.
door. I would not bust the door.
It will not
completely
bust
down.
open upon one blast. No.
Before that
Good.
happens, is there a lock I can see?
No, yeah,
It does appear to have lock. Yes. A lock, yes.
Before all of that happens, does this wall look scalable? To the left?
It does not look reasonably scalable. No.
I'm not a
This has been
reasonable
bust.
person.
This has been a bust, I think. If there's no one to speak to.
I don't like this. I do believe. Could the two of you step back a little bit? I'm going to knock on the door real hard this time.
No,
Wait a
Naya,
second.
We
How
have,
about no?
we have a way in. We already have a way in.
I know. I'm not trying to bust in. I'm trying to grab attention. We are owed a report on our guest.
I'm
It
having
does
trouble
not
to-
appear to be a matter of volume, young one.
And I'm beginning to doubt that our inquiries will be welcome. We're going to need to take matters into our own hands.
While they're having the discussion,
You attempt to pick the lock, and unfortunately, are unsuccessful.
it's just, well, my claws aren't cutting it here.
Well, let's check on Rusthenge for now, and real quick, and then make our way in, because
Yeah,
I don't like this.
Not Uzora. Cinder's going to step back, assuming that Naya's going to do wow, blast the door like she was alluding to.
We should leave
I
this
would
alone
say no.
for now. I agree. Let's. The overwhelming sense of doom from my vision last night starts creeping up in like a warm oven mitt, like on the back of my neck. Just we should investigate Rusthenge. See what sort of dreadful things might await us there before we
Now wait a
make
moment.
ourselves known here.
And Guano draws uncomfortably close to Cillian.
Ah.
How worried are you about Ordway?
Harry?
He looks at your eyes, looks like he's trying to find something in them.
You see vulnerability. There is
I don't know about all of you, but I've a feeling about this one's hunches. I would say we have a goat to find.
Well, I suppose it is the case. I'm just thinking, if things go back really bad, well, in any case, we will need to come back for Daryl anyway. So I'm sure we'll have to time to check on Rusthenge later. For now, yes.
Safe. Ascertain her safety. Then further investigations can wait.
Yes, we need to. I think this uninserted door is worrying me too much, and it has me flustered. We need to do something about this now.
It is troubling that it is on such deep lockdown they don't even have guards posted out front to interact with the public as they had before.
Now,
Yes.
where was
east.
that stream entrance?
Along the coast.
Then let us go for it.
Yes.
That would definitely be best.
The entrance along the coast is over here.
Oh, it's okay. Good. It's on the inner side of the harbor. Cool. Not the outer.
Mm-hmm.
Goody.
Oh, it's nicely close to where I was sleeping.
Where's Belthrin going?
Yeah. He's going to the Belthrin.
It went crazy, so I don't know what happened. So
Oh yeah, since you were sleeping by here, did you happen to see any details about the entrance that you could guide us to it easily?
That's a good question, Mark.
It
Did I
is in
see
fact
anything?
easily enough to find your way to the, as you've been pointed to it by Elsie, and as Naya sort of got a chance to scout it out a little bit, you are absolutely easily able to find the entrance and the way under Stonehome to the bottom of the well, which is where we'll start next time.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Great.
This was like,
Yeah.
how big is the entrance here?
It's big enough that you will fit.
Okay.
Absolutely wonderful. That's great. Oh.
Well,
I like
that was a
this character
wonderful
very
evening.
much.
Hell yeah. Thank you very, very much for playing. I hope you guys had some fun tonight.
Absolutely did.
Yes.
No game next week. It is the
Oh,
week
boo.
of Thanksgiving, so enjoy yourselves as you're celebrating.
That's
We
true.
should, emphasis on should, be back December 2nd for some more. That first week of December is going to be my last week here at this residence. I should be around for Monday. We should be able to play, no problem.
Okay,
I
good.
don't know about the week after that, though, because I'm not yet 100% sure where I'll be landing, where I'll be settled, and if I'll be able to run for a moment. So I will let you all know as soon as I know. But for
Alright.
right now,
Yes.
plan to play on the 2nd at least.
And do keep us posted
I
on
do.
yourself, Mark.
And I absolutely will keep everyone posted.
And not I just want to be Thursday. Just keep this shit going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're already in that
Thank
other
you very
campaign?
much. Yep,
Yeah, it's
Outlaws of
starting.
Alkenstar. They're getting ready to start this Thursday.
Sounds like
let's see.
fun. Looking forward to it.
Do I want to send you to a precious femboy VTuber with a super cute voice? Or do I want to send you to Shorster? Let me see. There we go. Where would we go? Where would we go? Playing Shinobi? That's nice. Scone Bone. Looks like there's not a whole lot of roleplay going on in my father list, but what's this? Or do I send you to another precious femboy VTuber with a cute voice? I might have a type.
I don't have anything special. I'm just going to send you all to Proton John, and who's currently doing is between games right now, but he's doing lightning round. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please consider
Sheep
following. If you really
cowboy.
like it, please consider spreading the word. I'm trying to go in here on Twitch, and every little bit helps.
Maybe he's just a goat.
There will be
He's
some
just a
ads
goat.
or not there. I'll be hopefully back
And
on
he's got the little.
Tuesday,
Doesn't he say
maybe.
he's like, no, he's a
We'll
bunny
see how
cow.
things
I
go.
see. He's a fucking
It
bunny
depends on how
cow.
work
Oh my
treats
god!
me.
But his voice is
Not how
super
work.
adorable. He's
Depends
playing
on how
a
much money I make
retro
in
game
the
that's
morning tomorrow.
very spooky.
Anyways,
so it
once
looks
again,
like
thank you all
it's-
for tuning into my
it's
reality and
Maze
listen
of
love over to
Gallius, it
Proton
seems.
John. Johnny.
Cool. Yeah. So not roleplay, but we'll go over there and say hi to the cutie, and give the cutie a ride in the me train with the subjugasm. If you don't have subjugasm,